Well, hello there, everyone. How are you guys? Happy Wednesday. What a wild Wednesday it is. But we got some shit to talk about. Buckle in. You're going to need your seatbelts, your helmets, and your listening ears. Some of y'all just don't understand how shit works. And one of you, LawCows, well, two of you, LawCows, all three of you, LawCows, Craig, Brittany, Julie, are an embarrassment to YouTube. Sure are an embarrassment overall to YouTube and social media as a whole. And real victims. Yep. But we're going to get into it. Let's go. Hey, everybody. All right. This is crazy. I'm not going to start over again, so I'm just going to kind of ding around for a minute. Make sure everybody here is rip raring to go. Do me a favor, go hit that like button. Because I think if there's one thing people can learn from this, it's pay attention. Some people are really out there. So as I said this morning, I was a public viewer of the court today. I sat quietly, respectfully, per usual, just listening. So first and foremost, I want to put it out there that I really liked this judge. I logged in probably an hour, 45 minutes before the proceedings just to make sure like everything was working. I wanted to see it. Like, these things interest me. You have to give your full legal name. So I did. I don't have any problem. I mean, what the fuck? Why would I care? But one thing I can assure you of today is that if you call and get the ability to view this court hearing publicly, as is our right to do, you do not get a link to the prosecutor meeting, the municipal prosecutor meeting, which was what was recorded last time and emailed randomly to myself and Queen. What I find very interesting out of that whole situation is the only two people provided that link or the ability to get into the prosecutor would be Brittany and Julie. There was one other party present, but unless he mirrored somebody else's name in the hearing already, that person was not a part of it. But what I find very problematic in this situation is Julie filed police reports on said court recording, which I don't care about. But Julie failed to provide information to her police with contact information for myself or Queen, who were emailed a public YouTube link by an anonymous stranger. Julie filed the reports, used our information, but didn't provide contact details, real names, anything. So they could not even follow up on complaint and ask for the forwarded email, who it was from, anything. So I have done that myself. I've taken the liberty of making sure that they were forwarded the link. She knew my information. She's got my information. She got it in a YouTube complaint when she struck me. I find it very odd that she did not provide them contact details for the supposed investigation to even contact the person or people who received the emails. Little sus. But I can verify today that whoever recorded the prosecutor side of things was either remote viewing through one of them, or they gave the link to somebody. Because otherwise, you go right into the judge. You don't even go into the prosecutor on the public one. Interesting, isn't it? Process of elimination is very interesting, considering there's somebody running around talking about remote viewing and being able to take over people's computers and stuff from a remote location. Anywho, that's beyond the point. But just so everybody is very clear, I have, like I said, provided the court with the actual email because Julie failed to do so. She told everybody publicly that she turned me into the prosecutor and the detective, but she failed to give them information to be able to contact me, which I find extremely suspect. However, I've been saying all along, this is LawCow on LawCow. All I care about is the facts and the truth. And the truth is, you probably shouldn't go live while you're supposed to be in court. You probably shouldn't take court proceedings lightly. You probably shouldn't slap the court, the judge, the prosecutor in the face with disrespect. Brittany. So while I was sitting in a court hearing where she failed to appear, and yes, FTAs have been issued for both her and Craig. See, I can publicly discuss because it was a public courtroom. So I can talk about what went down. And we can get the audio later. But it's pretty fucking sad that I was there early. I'm just a public viewer. No warrant, no bench warrant at the time, just a failure to appear. Just an FTA. And 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, if they do not appear again, then it'll progress. Well, she didn't even get ahead of that, Jasmine, and tell the judge or the court that she had extenuating circumstances and needed a continuance. And no, there was no attorney there. Another thing that I want to talk about before I get into dragging Brittany's ass for a minute, because unreal. I told you guys all along what I was doing was detailing Julie's words and BJ's. And here we are, where they're both misusing our systems. There will be an appearance in 2 weeks. If they fail to appear again, they will be, at that point in time, it'll be decided if a bench warrant's issued or whatever the case may be. We'll get into more of the details of that in a minute, but I want to show you what, instead of being in court, she was doing. Midwest, thank you for becoming a member. And Bree, Bee's gonna stupid her way into lose. Absolutely. Thank you, Bree. It's actually an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to our courts. This whole situation is an embarrassment to our courts. And I will explain the proceeding after we listen to this, because this was done while she should have been in court. I want you to take that in for a moment. All of us are very aware they had court today. She was aware they had court today. Instead of showing up for court, she goes live and plays the victim. Well, yeah, you got yourself a failure to appear and a pissed off prosecutor. And I mean pissed off prosecutor. Yeah. Whoever recorded that, you did wonders, because you got a pissed off prosecutor. That's for damn sure. Dumbest thing you could do. Dumbest fucking thing you can do is piss off a prosecutor that was overly kind in the situation, to now you're acting like it's a joke. Nope, Julie was there in person, though. Julie appeared in person. She was in the courtroom. What's really interesting, one thing I'll point out before we get into like the details of the actual court hearing and stuff, I want to listen to this, but another thing that was really interesting is the proceedings had gone on for quite a while. They started at 1:30 this afternoon, their time, but they started shuffling through things around 1 o'clock. People were already there. It was actually really, really interesting. This judge, I have mad respect for. And the reason I say that is because a lot of the shit he deals with is like petty work permits, moving violations, things of that nature. And he was not fining people like crazy amounts of money. $50, $95 were kind of the average fine for like a work permit that they didn't have correct. And it's not these crazy amounts that put people behind that they constantly stay in the system over, which I was glad to hear. Now, some of them are fucking crazy petty. But this isn't something you take, like, I don't know why any of you take court lightly or think it's a fucking game. It's not. It blows my mind. Thank you, Midwest, for being a member for 13 months. I appreciate that. I just don't understand. Cupcakes, I have no idea who it was. I just know it wasn't me. And I find it really fucking problematic that these two that are out here pointing fingers at each other don't want the people supposedly doing an investigation to even be able to get the original link it was emailed from. It's so fucking weird to me. You report it, but you don't even give them information to contact us. They weren't supposed to be there in person. They were supposed to appear over Zoom, Casey. But I think that's going to be required of them now. I think that they will be required to appear in person. And no attorney was present for them at all. We'll get into more of the details of that. And hold on, because when I say you pissed off the prosecutor, I mean, I'm glad it was more important to do this. Let's listen to you. LawCow and LawCow, I told you. Yeah. I hope they both learn up to good. But Julie is showing up in person, and there's a few things, we'll get into it, that I question. The prosecutor mentioned recusing himself, and well, the judge said maybe you should, and I kind of agree with that.
Can you guys hear me? I'm gonna be live for about a couple of minutes. Make sure y'all can hear me. I got a couple things I need to say.
Couple things I need to say. So we found it a priority to go live and do drama on YouTube over showing up for court. A petty fucking situation you should have been able to rid of with an attorney's help or without an attorney's help. This is why I fucking fought so hard and said, listen, I could fucking do everything. This bitch ain't gonna fucking listen to a thing I do or say, and nothing I do is going to ever help her. And if anybody needs that fucking recognition, here you go. Today is a great day for that. And yes, they knew I was in the courtroom. Absolutely. I made myself very, very present, if you get my drift. my full legal name up on that screen, proudly called in. Look, I'm not doing anything shady. I'm a public viewer of a public courtroom. I don't do shady shit. We were going through the legal routes to get and obtain the information we got. But I wanted Julie to know that I was there. And she did. And the prosecutor addressed us. Just reminded us that no recordings. I mean, duh. I didn't record the first time, dum-dum. And you're lucky that I, unlike your plaintiff, Julie, values honesty. Oh, and one other thing. This I'm unsure about. The RO hearings are concluded. I know that for sure. They are concluded. Now, what was very unclear to myself, and I'll have to, there's two things I want to tell you before we get into this. The RO hearings have been concluded. Like I said, it is very unclear because he was a little distance from the mic. I couldn't tell if he said a final order was entered or not. So the RO, wherever that is, has been concluded. It could have been issued or it could have been dismissed. But that, whatever the situation is with Superior Court, has been completely concluded. And I'm sure at the next hearing, we will get further details on that because that will be something. Because the prosecutor is requesting the pedigree, which is the criminal case history and the criminal records of the defendants. Because the plaintiff, in my opinion, has the municipal prosecutor, convinced that they have significant records. And as we've heard her say numerous times, she has used charges, not convictions, constantly as her talking points. So there's a lot to talk about. And one other thing. Oh, I'll do that afterwards. Good God. There's just so many things. Oh, no, I'll do it before. So the only other thing that I found suspect. So I knew one of the other viewers in the courtroom with me. But as we were sitting there throughout the afternoon, I was folding laundry, getting all sorts of shit done. It was actually kind of nice. And it was really interesting. Honestly, it was really fucking interesting. Like I said, the judge was great. He was super good. The way he treats people, his favorite word is fine. Fine. The attorneys would say something. Pretty much everybody else was represented by an attorney. And here's the crazy part. I'm pretty sure Brittany and Craig were also offered public defenders for this because that's their right. And Craig said in the last one that he had legal representation. However, that was for the Superior Court RO. So they could have easily asked for public defenders and they didn't. But BJ went live instead of even showing up for court today. But during their break, because we finally got to a point where they did take a break after some of the cases, I heard Julie speak shortly before the break. So I knew she was in the courtroom. Her voice is very distinct. And I was like, okay, I figured she'd go. I mean, she is the one who filed these complaints. And now the prosecutor is going to make her case. Piss off a municipal prosecutor. Not the smartest thing to do. Anywho, what do I know? I just show up for court on time, even when it's not my own, an hour early. But hell, what do I know? The justice system scares me when it's shit like that because you ain't going to play with my fucking freedom. And I'm not going to let you play with my freedom. It means too much to me. And these fucking things are so petty, but can turn into the biggest shitstorms I've ever seen. And that's exactly what's happening. After I hear Julie's voice, the audio goes mute because they took the break. Well, they unmuted a couple times and we heard a few things. I knew that that was the case that they were discussing. Interestingly enough, there was only a couple of us public viewers. Everybody else was being shuffled through as court cases. After their break, up comes a new viewer. So whoever this was, chances are, is on Julie's side of things. I don't care. We're all public viewers. It might not have been. It might have been just some random person too. But they were there for Brittany and Craig because they put their name, well, an initial, I think it's probably a last name. And then in parentheses, they put Skolnick versus Jackson. I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? So when they do eventually come back from break and get called, they thought that that was one of them. They were like, unmute, unmute. And the person just sat there. Of course, they're not going to unmute. It's not them. But because of how it is, yeah, they would have been offered public defenders. Lala Lauren, in my opinion, they absolutely would have. I don't know how that works, though, being in another state. I would have had an attorney argue jurisdiction right off the jump. I mean, that's just the way it is. And it should have been easily dismissed. However, at this point in time, like I said, you could walk this one to fucking water and she's going to do the dumbest shit. So we'll talk about more of the court proceedings after I let you listen to what she thought was more important than showing up for court. Let's go.
Put a 1 in chat if y'all can hear me. Hey, Mary Dean. Hey, Dee's Mystery. Reality. Too Blunt Mimi. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Good to see you. Just my girls.
And listen, just because I'm reviewing BJ does not mean I'm allowing the comment section to talk about her child. That's not going to happen over here. I want nothing to do with it. And if you can't respect my boundaries of understanding that I will not be reviewing her like that, because that is something for me, I cannot sit by and watch the situation in that household. I can't. With the children, it's one thing to have 2 older children, and I shouldn't even have to explain this, but since it's twisted of why I'm not reviewing BJ, let me be very fucking clear. I am very strong when it comes to my boundaries, and nobody on here is going to make me feel bad about it, because those older 2 boys are at the age where they can fend for themselves a little bit. A newborn baby, not the same. And I knew doing content and hearing all of these things was going to cause me fucking issues. Plus the infertility, how it was shoved in everybody's face, everything like that. No, fuck that. It's a fucking boundary, and it's not going to happen over here either. It's a lot to process, and that's a boundary for me. Just because I'm reviewing BJ does not allow you to act like a jackass. Her children, they don't get a say in who their parents are. I'm not here to discuss whether you believe the baby's home or not. I don't care. Those are things I don't want to talk about. And if you can't respect my boundary, hit that fucking door and don't come back. And I'm serious when I say that. I am done with it.
Giselle, nice to see you. Laura, Randa Smith, nice to see you. Franco, nice to see you. I'm pissed off because people want to hold me to my every word. And no matter what I say, oh my God, it's just like, just let me. I'm just so fucking sick and tired of everything. Like everything I say, everything I do, everything I say, they twist it and say that, they turn it into something negative.
How am I twisting that you didn't show up for court today and you were more worried about doing a live stream for 30 minutes? Same V. That's exactly how I feel about it. So instead of, let me make the point clear here. Instead of going to court, she went live and did this.
If I forget that I said something, or you know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous. And then calling me a liar and shit. So when Laura made that post about the books, the baby books, I completely She said I had 2 books on the registry.
I'm going to skip through that because like I said, I'm not entertaining any of it.
And then going over there and saying that I fucking lied about something.
You lie a lot.
Give me a second, y'all. Hold on 1 minute.
I have been, y'all. Nana's not drunk.
All right,
Just
so
think they can walk all over.
I'm not going to, all you haters need to, no, seriously, to blunt me. And then saying that my kid is in the hospital and that she's fucking withdrawing. Y'all are sick.
Let me say this again. This happened 2 hours ago. I have been sitting in a courtroom since, what, 10:45 my time? No, earlier than that. 9:45 my time. 9:45. I'm 3 hours different than their courtroom. I don't know. I have no idea why she didn't show up. I have no idea, you guys. I was there an hour early. I was there at like 12:45. And I'm not even a part of it. I'm just want to know what the fuck is going on because neither one of them are truthful narrators.
So I'm not going to be doing, like, I'm not going to give anybody.
There was only one other person that viewed this. So I don't know. Well, outside of the prosecutor link. Outside, yeah, she was. I heard that too. I wonder if people were calling her and saying, because there was one other person. The one other person was somebody I know that was there viewing alongside me. But there was only one other person that like came in that was the person I told you guys how their name was written, an initial, their last name, and then in parentheses they put the case that they were there for, which was Brittany and Craig's, but they only appeared. Me and the person viewing with me, we each independently got our own links, everything. Like, that's not, let me be very clear. We didn't share anything. We each talked to Susan, got our links. We're there legally, lawfully, courtroom viewers. This person only came in after break, which was really weird because I don't know how they got noticed or that now was the time, unless Julie went out and texted someone, which could be. She probably likely went out and told somebody or gave an update. I would have done the same thing because you can't have your phones in the courtroom. So it's likely she said our case hasn't been heard yet, but it's upcoming. So then this person likely joined to view. Could have just been somebody time frame too. I'm not saying they did anything wrong at all because they didn't. They were sitting there just viewing the shit too. But doesn't look like there was anybody to me that was there for Brittany and Craig, if that makes sense.
Another ounce of anything. Like, y'all need to clock yourselves and actually go find somebody else.
Well, in Amy Lynn, the court docket's publicly available, or the court schedule. It's been very clear, and I've been very vocal about the next court date being May 13th because I think I'm following the case more than these idiots are, which is funny because we kind of clocked that, that I would probably end up knowing more about this fucking shit. All I know is Julie is a manipulative bitch, and you think I'm going to let that bitch play with my freedom? You're fucking up. And watching what's happening right now, holy fuck, Julie. Whoo, you are bold, lady. You are bold. I got to give you that. Dumb, but bold. Oh, and it was mentioned in court today that Julie has a master's degree. and fucking what? A master's in education. Can we just level the playing field for a minute? They both have degrees in manipulation. That's what these bitches have. That's it. It's fucking insane. Okay, let's get back to this. There's just so much. Y'all, if you could have seen my face. If you could have seen my face during this. Oh, Lazy Wolf, I hope to God if LaSalle's pissed, rightfully so. But whoever got that link was through them, one of them. That's the only way, because that's not the link. The link that is provided legally, lawfully, is to the courtroom with the judge, not the prosecutor. So one of them handed that link directly to somebody or gave them remote viewing access to their computer or device and recorded that way. Like I said, the person that was on screen was there for a case confirmed today. He came in and even gave his attorney's name. The SD on screen that we all initially were kind of like, oh, that's probably the person that recorded. No, he was there for his own case and even gave his attorney's name. That takes him out of the running.
Hold on a second. Do I have a mod in here that can turn on subscribers only mode?
Just listening, Bog. I almost turned my camera.
It's crazy, Jaco. It is absolutely insane.
I almost did.
But no, like I seen where people are being messy, and I seen where Irish made that video. Irish, you really need help. You really do. You need to get some help. Go get some content for your channel. I know you want to build your channel. You're well on your way. Yeah, brown eyes. I mean, it really is getting old. But if we all go away, then hey, trucker's wife, then what's that going to do? Honestly, you know what I mean? It's just going to leave the cesspool. Anyway, I wanted to address that and say, stop worrying about my kids. Stop worrying about my baby. Stop worrying about me. Shut up. Obviously, you love it, or you wouldn't come fucking in my chat. It's these same people repeating this. You know where they're coming from. Thank you, trucker's wife, for the flower. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do, reality. They absolutely do.
What do you mean by that? Never stop believing. It's confirmed. Like, there's no ifs, ands, buts about this. When she was supposed to be in court, she was on live stream. I'm telling you, I was thumbing around because I was using my iPad. I was logged into Zoom for hours in this court hearing. She went live while she was supposed to be in court. She said, fuck it. I agree with that. But dumb, and I'll explain why. And Brittany, look, I know you have to come here because you don't know what the fuck even happened today in your own court case. Isn't that kind of a consistent thing for you? That you don't even know what's going on in your own court cases? See, that's what pissed me off when I first started detailing this shit with you and Julie. You both are just alike. Reckless, negligent, abusing our court systems. But let me be very clear, Brittany. You disrespected the court today. And when you disrespect municipal prosecutors, don't be shocked that they demand you show up and that they want you jailed. Did you hear what I said? If you think I'm fucking lying, find out on your own. Disrespect a court. Like you and Craig continue to do. You're going to do exactly what I thought.
Hey, Cam. So, I'm going to actually go over.
Listen, this is one of the surface level, most petty, ridiculous things I've ever seen. Ever. This should never have been even to where we are. The prosecutor tried to make a point. The judge cut him off because it's not to that point yet of where these things become important. But he was going to repeat that Craig said to Julie she's a soulless demon. That offended the prosecutor. The term soulless demon. This is a big deal now. It wasn't a big deal before, but you disrespected the court. And people are playing games. And it is going to be a problem. Nope, no attorney.
For some true crime tonight. Oh my.
I can assure you over and over again, neither Brittany or Craig appeared. No attorney appeared. There wasn't an accident. There wasn't anything. She knew she had court today. She did not show up. Oh, it's fucking far from over, Kathy. 2 weeks is the next, and failure to appears have been issued for both Brittany and Craig. It's a big fucking deal, and we'll get into more of the details of the case after we listen to this.
God, y'all. Oh my God. Oh my God. It is crazy the way that things are. Hold on a second. I'm not going to address you. If you come in my chat talking shit, you're just going to be blocked. I'm not going to address you. Thank you, Trucker's wife. So,
Bree, we'll talk about that further in a little bit. Did the prosecutor miss the part where being offensive isn't illegal? I'm offended that he felt the need to tell the judge he was offended. Yeah, there's some things that we'll talk about in a minute. You can tell he's angry, the municipal prosecutor, because of the disrespect. And Julie is in there in person again. He mentioned her having a master's degree. I'll tell you more. Thank you for the support. Hold on to your seats, though, because you're going to blow your top, Bree, when I tell you more about what was said. And listen, this is my public right to talk about what I just listened to in a court. There's no gag order. I was a public viewer. I did not record. I took hella good notes. Sure did. And I'm going to attend in 2 weeks again. Neither one of them are going to be honest about it, so I'm going to be.
Corey Richens' sentencing, I don't know. Like, I was watching some of it over on Jay's earlier. Y'all, the way that she's rolling her eyes, and we got to go over that. We're going to have to go over that. We're going to have to go over, there's Alex Murdaugh. He's been given a new trial. Laying in the sun at the beach. Lucky. Oh my God, I wish I was.
You weren't given a new trial. You were actually issued failure to appears. I find the irony of you wanting to talk about true crime cases, but don't even show up for your own court case. I mean, called it. Told you I could fucking lay this all out for her and she'd still fuck it up. Told y'all it was never going to be beneficial to BJ. Some people should have listened.
Wish I was at the beach. Last night, someone told me to kick rocks. I was just trying to save reality from trouble. I'm not a troll. Gecko, we know you're not a troll. Thank you, A Got Change. Hey, Toe Beans. Stopping in to say hi. I'm watching the sentencing now. The boy statements were heartbreaking. I am totally going to go over that tonight. I was watching it over on Jay's, and y'all, I was like, oh my God. Yeah, we covered Corey Richens. So
Yeah, that's true. At least Corey Richens, she doesn't really have a choice of showing up for court, but
I think that would be a good thing for us to go through tonight if you guys come back. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Giselle, for the PayPal you just sent. I appreciate that. That was so sweet. I appreciate that. I'll definitely yes. Her faces will guarantee her. Yeah, like did no one tell her that at all? I wonder. I noticed that too, Toe Beans. Like, I was like, damn, you're doing yourself no favors whatsoever at all.
Listen, I wish I was making this up. Do you know what my mouth fucking did when I saw that she went live and I'm sitting in her court case listening to them ask where she's at and she's fucking on live stream? You know how badly I wanted to unmute my fucking mic and say, Your Honor, irrelevant bitch over here, but she just went live on YouTube. That's where she's at, sir. It was so fucking hard for me not to like raise my hand and say, me. Ask me. I can tell you where she's at. Because she just went live on YouTube. Oh, I didn't though. I behaved myself. I sat there like a quiet church mouse.
Let's see, Josie. Oh yes, I want to go over the. I want to cover that too. Just my girls. The Maya Malete case. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, I just
Did you hear she's going to speak? The defense asked for 30 minutes for her. Are you serious? Oh my God.
I was blown away. I was like, what the hell is happening here?
Oh, that's okay, trucker's wife. I got y'all. Somebody sent me the cute. I told y'all somebody sent me the cutest dress for Emily. Oh, we got to see that, toe beans. That's crazy. And then we got Maya Malete. When is that? Wait a minute. Hold on.
Coco, I did. Hey, Mal. Love your face.
Oh, I'm glad he's doing better today, DJ. I'm so
Thank you for being a member for 25 months.
sorry. Chosen all the jurors. The trial is starting. Okay, I'm going to have to look into that, just my girls. Hey, Pink Life. Okay. No, I don't know. I gotta
ask away.
I got a few minutes because I gotta go do school pickup. This is a weird look on my phone. Yeah, it's called Vertical.
Oh, I have the chat up because I want to see if anybody even mentions court to her.
Thank you, Linda Lou. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, please hit the like button, and I'm gonna try to go live. Probably. Hey, Carolina Moon. I'm gonna try to go live early. If I can. It depends. Y'all know how that goes. Oh, thank you, Laura W, for the sunshine. I appreciate that.
Listen.
You don't. Okay. I don't know what that's.
I'm not a betting person, but this is what I actually thought was going to happen today. I genuinely did have a feeling that this was going to happen today. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I just had a feeling she was not going to show up. Now, I was shocked that she went live. That I was shocked about. However, I'm not shocked that they didn't show up. They don't realize what a fucking serious situation they're playing with here. These petty charges like this, these petty fucking things, once you get in that system, if you don't fucking get your ass out of it, you're fucked. And although that judge is extremely fucking kind, he ain't gonna fucking put up with this shit. And that prosecutor, that municipal prosecutor, they work in close proximity together. They have conversations. That judge is likely gonna hear an earful from that prosecutor later. And I wouldn't fucking play with anybody's freedom, including my own, ever. Especially when you got somebody as fucking reckless that lies the way she does. You got two untruthful narrators of a situation, Julie and BJ. It's a fucking ticking time bomb.
Hold on. All right. So, this is just what I want to say, in regards to everything that's going on. So I put my bracelet. I showed the bracelets. Because people are saying that I didn't have a baby and that I didn't give birth. I've lied about the pregnancy and all of that. So I showed that I didn't lie about the weight loss and I didn't lie about.
This tells me right here, again, we're not discussing this. This is not open for discussion. Please don't start the shit in my chat. I don't care. But this tells me her priorities, once again, are so fucking backwards. She's too worried about what fucking strangers online think about what the bracelet on her wrist is. That's a priority of proving fucking random strangers right or wrong over showing up for court. Yikes. That means likely you're in a lie in that situation too. Multiple is usually your thing, multiple compounding lies. And you're more focused on trying to cover those lies to people than you are showing up for court. And look, you're the one playing with your freedom. I said it from jump. I got no fucking skin in this game. LawCow and LawCow. It's a fucking thing. I think you both are dangerous, real life, reckless human beings, both you and Julie. And that will remain. And I think 99% of the chat agrees with me. That you're one and the fucking same. And if anybody watched what we did of Julie and BJ, the truth is there.
giving birth. And look what they did. They take the bracelets and they turn it in to that bracelet was for a book. And yes, I do keep all of the stuff when I have my kids or whatever, and I will use it for a book. But I didn't know that that was what Laura was talking about. So forgive me. Also, something else. Joneson said that she thinks that I have a mental problem. What the fuck?
Like,
a mental problem?
I want you to sit back in your chair, whatever you're doing, and think about this. Her priority is addressing Joneson, saying she has a mental problem. This bitch was supposed to be in court when she clicked this live button. You proved her right, jackass.
Really? But then if you lie or anybody else lies, or, you know, it's you misremembering, right? Isn't that what you said? But you said that,
Coco, I ain't got no lies to tell. I was fucking nervous being in a courtroom. I don't like those places. People go to jail and shit. People's lives change in those rooms, for the good or the bad. Usually the bad. I don't like being in a courtroom. It was actually really interesting, though, being in there like a spectator like we were today. It's really interesting, the process of all of this, and this New Jersey law in specific. It's really interesting. But I was fucking nervous. People's lives change in an instant in those rooms. Like, it is not something to be played with. People's freedom is not something to be played with. And although, yes, publicly, people know Julie's fucking lying. People know that Julie is the exact same as BJ. You fucking disrespected the court. It's a matter of fucking disrespect now. And now they got a point to prove. And when you have a prosecutor like this, girl, you fucked up. You done fucked up. Straight up. Done fucked up. And I'll explain why. Because he wants your ass in fucking jail when he proves this case. Sure did say that. He didn't say ass. I'm adding my own synopsis and interpretation. Oh, yeah, he was not happy.
For me, the lies that I tell, you think it's a mental problem that I have? How about this, Joneson? What about maybe it's the fact that I've got weird people just...
Don't worry, Tiff. Nothing, like, you guys were so far away. That was not even in earshot of you guys accidentally being able to hear anything. I was muted the entire time, and there was nothing. That was just... we were just sitting there together. But that was on a whole other system in another room.
Hyper focusing in on my personal life and everything about me. And maybe a lot of the things that I'm doing and saying are for protection. There's a lot of things that I don't say, and there's a lot of things that I have tried to do to protect myself and my family. You can call it a fucking mental problem or whatever it is you want, and then to say that I love the drama. Here's another thing. If anybody else was being talked about...
You don't love the drama. Bitch, you went live on YouTube for 30 minutes instead of showing up for courts. This is the municipal court. This is the most petty. This is a petty disorderly persons. This is like the lowest thing. And you have a municipal prosecutor pissed the fuck off now. The least serious of all of these things, the RO, in my opinion, much more serious. Like I said, it's concluded. The RO is concluded. What I do not know, because it was not clear, I'm sure we will find out in 2 weeks. It very likely, I could not understand if he said an FPO, a final, was entered or dismissed. So we couldn't see the municipal prosecutor. I could only see the judge's face. And from the judge's reaction to the prosecutor, I would say he was animated and very aggressive. I wouldn't say necessary. Yeah, pissed might be the appropriate word, actually, because he made a big deal out of the recording, and we'll get into that. He knows he's Mr. Worldwide now, too. 50,000 views all over the United States.
Like I am, y'all would all be defending yourself, too. Every single person would defend theirself. If they were, especially...
I defend myself in court over the internet any fucking day. There ain't nobody. Like, do you hear what she's saying? You catch what she's saying? in the midst of this, she should have been in court.
that I have tried to do to protect myself and my family. You can call it a fucking mental problem or whatever it is you want, and then to say that I love the drama. Here's another thing: if anybody else was being talked about like I am, y'all would all be defending yourself too. Every single person would defend themselves if they were, especially if your children. They're talking about your kids.
Oh my God, this is so pathetic. So pathetic. K Mystic, thank you so much for being a member for 8 months. Sorry, I missed that earlier. Tammy's Clips, thank you for being a member for 10 months. Julie will get a win because of this disrespect, in my opinion. If she doesn't do something now, yep, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Julie's got an advantage because she is there in person. So she is very manipulative, as you have seen. There's just no denying she can turn the tears on at a drop of a hat, and she uses her older lady look, her feeble, meek, I'm so scared these people are doing this. She even has said, it was said today in court that the harassment has continued of Julie up until yesterday. Not really sure how that's happening or how she feels harassed by them. I don't know if they talked about her or not. I haven't been watching BJ. So I don't know. But in Julie's mind, she's communicated it to the prosecutor. Now, will that be, did I thank you, Midwest? I think I did. Here, Kitty Kitty, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. Welcome to the cabana. I mean, Jen, I think it's a little late for that, right? She already pled not guilty the last time.
You got a crazy bitch over there saying that my child in the hospital. You got psychos over here saying that she's fucking in the NICU withdrawing. And then you got weirdos talking about my son's being bitten by rats. No, fuck that. I'm so tired of this. If I want to come on here and defend myself, I can do that too, just like the rest of y'all. So, Joneson, I'm going to say this. If I love the drama so much, you do too. Because guess what? It's not even about you. And you come.
Listen, Casey Lee, BJ fucked up today majorly. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I have no reason to. I told you guys all I care about is the truth of this situation and watching this. Yeah, Kiki's hollering
on here and you talk about it every day. So if I love the drama, so do you. I can talk about the shit right along with everybody else, just like everybody else. What I really don't know what the whole problem is with it's like if I want to talk about stuff, or if I want to bring up any of it, it's a problem. Brittany needs to just keep her mouth shut and don't talk about anything.
I know, just Samantha. I know.
And you're not going to hear a baby cry. That's the thing.
Listen, Karma, I wouldn't be so quick to say that. I would say if you had an attorney and showed up for court, yeah, that's not going to happen in this case at all. Especially if you had an attorney that you actually communicated with appropriately and explained the situation and cared about your freedom. But he absolutely, the prosecutor, the municipal prosecutor, communicated today that he wants them to be forced to appear in person in New Jersey. And that when he proves that they have made these egregious statements and done these egregious things to Julie, that he wants them in jail. So, although I agree with you, nobody should be going to jail over this. We've heard the statements made. We've seen how Julie has twisted things. We've seen the manipulation. The truth is the fucking truth. And that prosecutor is fucking pissed, to put it lightly. That recording became a big piece of this. And I reiterate to you, there is absolutely no way that somebody called in and was provided the link that came directly from BJ or Julie or both. And whoever was viewing was beside one of them. And I'm not saying in the same room, but one of them knows who recorded that. Or they gave the link to somebody. Julie and or BJ had to have given because That wouldn't have happened of somebody else getting put in that room. That's not the public link that you're given. The link that we were given legally to be public viewers goes right to the judge. You go right into the courtroom. You're not in the prosecutor meeting. The only body that is in the prosecutor meeting is the plaintiff, the defendant, and the municipal, and they cycle them through. So you're seeing other people being pulled in there in the waiting rooms and stuff. But that's it. That's all. There's no ifs, ands, buts about that. It wasn't one of the other people recording on behalf of, unless it's a family member or something of somebody's. No, there's just no way. And we're not going to have an argument over who was behind it. But I find it extremely concerning that the person who reported this to the police, Julie Skolnick, and said that the prosecutor and the detectives were opening up an investigation into who illegally recorded this, Julie Skolnick didn't provide contact details to the court or the police for either myself or Queen. So neither one of us could even provide the court or the detective the actual forwarded email that we received from an anonymous. I have no fucking clue who this is. And it's really fucking interesting that only the two of us were listed on said email with a public available link. But like I said before, where Julie fails, I'm proactive. You're not going to fuck around with my freedom and try to wrap me up into something I have nothing to do. Try again, bitch. I have provided it to the court myself because I don't fuck around with shit like this. I don't take it lightly, and you aren't going to accuse me of shit, and you're friends. But the scramble, man, and trying to pin that on people is very fucking loud. Julie really wants to get to the bottom of who illegally recorded it, but doesn't provide contact information of how these people can even get the original link or the email to maybe trace it. I told you from the jump, I review your public commentary and keep it right here. You filed a police report, included me, and didn't even give them my contact info, which you have, because you copyright struck me. So you have my phone number you could have put in there, my address, everything. You didn't even give them my legal name. You just put Becky. You didn't want them to have any information, did you? You used Queen's full legal name, first and last, but you didn't mine. That's why I put it boldly. I spelled it out for the guy. He even pronounced it correctly, my last name, for him today. I have nothing to hide.
There's no way in fucking God's green earth that I would let these people hear my child. It's not going to happen. You're not going to hear any of my kids.
Why set either one of us up like this, Lazy Wolf? Not just Queen. Why set it either one of us up?
No, I'm not. If, like I said,
look, as much as I can't fucking stand Julie, she could have reached out to me and asked me for the fucking email that I was sent to turn it in. She never did. She didn't care about that. She just wanted to name us publicly and accuse us and put it in police reports. She didn't want them actually contacting, because to me, it seems like Julie she wants to use it as fodder. She doesn't want them actually digging in and possibly detailing this back. Well, after the municipal prosecutor addressed me being in the courtroom today, him and I will be having a lengthy conversation, Julie. Like I said, I'm proactive. You're defensive for some really odd reason. Maybe it's all the lies you've been telling. Because just because BJ is a liar, you're the same, bitch. You're one and the same.
people that are a part of my community or like channel or whatever, we might figure out something in that way, but not, I'll never let these people. Look, I mean, everything I say that's going to happen, they do, and I'm not going to do it. I don't agree with Pink Skies. I don't agree with any of this shit either. Everything is a problem with them. You are their bread and butter, so they need your every word. It's words. Quite sad, to be honest. Try to have a Teflon mind. Just let it roll off your shoulders, Britt. You're a beautiful woman with a precious soul. Thank you, Sunny Days. Thank you, everybody. Hey, my heart's in Mississippi.
I can't even fucking imagine.
No, I think it's, I'm going to go ahead and go to my car. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second.
She's got to go to her car. Why is she going to her car?
Oh, reality, I ain't letting that bother. That don't bother me. It don't bother me. I'm confident with how I look, honestly.
Why are you going to your car?
Look at all of the AI and all that crap they make of me and stuff like that. All of the overweight freaking
Oh, shut up. People in their fucking AI is disgusting these days. The transphobia is loud. Some of y'all just showing exactly who you are, and I'm fucking here for it. Here for it.
They don't bother me. Don't let it bother you, reality. These people can come after my looks all they want. Thank you, Christina. I appreciate that. I feel okay. Sorry, DJ. Can you guys hear me? Oh, War Eagle is freaking just pissed off. Nobody's driving. Randa, listen, hold on. Who's going to call the hospital? Nobody's at the hospital. Randa says, I hope they aren't calling the hospital asking about.
Just randomly goes and sits in her car? For what? Sorry, I was muted.
Your baby. There's no baby at the hospital. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, there's no fucking way that you can, I mean, that would be ridiculous.
So we found that can be unsettling.
Ask your creators.
More than 80 years of experience, Dodson provides discreet treatment so you can sleep safe and sound. For free inspection, call or visit DodsonBROS.com.
Content money. No. Content money from what? Yeah, she does, but listen, why? Hold on. Why, Randa, why would you say that? What they are saying about your bracelet is to get into the NICU. They are disgusting. The bracelet to get into the NICU. What the fuck? Jesus. I can't. That's not what my bracelets. The bracelets that I have are for me. If I collapse or something happens and the ambulances come to take, to get me, or if, I'm rushed to the hospital, I have these bracelets on to identify that I just had labor and that I'm anemic. Brittany, did you hear about this guy? Don't come in here.
Doing?
Why is it commonplace to talk about my town now? Do y'all go into anybody else's live stream, or do we just talk about anybody else's hometown and their county like y'all do mine? I'm just curious. Why are we coming in here, or anywhere? Why is my town and where I live just so y'all just put that shit out like it's nothing? I'm not over here putting anybody else's shit out there like that.
Oh my fucking God. We have really cycled all the way back around, haven't we, BJ?
What the hell? I mean, I don't, there's somebody in, I cannot, I can't. All right.
Now what? Show up for court? Yeah, we know.
Hey, Barb.
We did it. Yeah. Heard it.
All right, y'all. Listen. Buzzy's got psychos driving by your house. Yeah, for sure.
I guess I should have done that. Breaking news, Brittany. A failure to appear has been issued for you and Craig because you failed to appear because you thought doing this live stream was more important than showing up for court.
1,000%. Exactly, War Eagle.
Yes.
All right, look, I've got to go take care of the shit. I'll call y'all back. Or I don't know why I'm saying call y'all back. I'll come back in a little bit after I'm finished with everything. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the hell. Everybody's just wanting to hold on to my every word. So fuck you, Laura, and everybody else that's building a damn channel or doing whatever it is you need to do. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Stop saying that my kids are in the NICU. Stop saying that my son is freaking being chewed on by rats. Get a life. Do something with yourself. And yeah, I mean, I don't even know. I'm over it. I appreciate you guys too, but seriously, there's so much I want to say. There's just so, and no, for content, what content like this? Money, I don't know about y'all, but I don't make money off of this shit because it doesn't. Everybody makes money off of going against me, and then people want to sit here and lay it at me. Why don't y'all go call the people out that are actually using me for content, dragging me left and right every fucking day of the week? I'm over it. And for the love of God, y'all get my newborn out of your mouth. I'm so over it with that. That's why I didn't want y'all to even know about her. I didn't want y'all to know anything about her. I didn't want anybody to know I was pregnant because this is the shit y'all do. I've seen some of the most horrible comments about my child. It's just sick. It's all sick.
What's really sick is the fact that you did this live stream instead of coming to court. That's what's really fucking. You have a brand new baby. Like, you have children. You have responsibilities, and you should have priorities as a full-grown adult mother of 6. You should have some fucking common sense in there. Granted, you have a shit-ass partner who doesn't give a fuck about his freedom either. You guys think this is a fucking joke. It's the furthest thing from a joke. And man, oh man, was that made clear today. Like I said, I was, woo, this is not going to be good for you. Hey, like I've said all along, all I'm here to do is follow this and talk about it. And we got a lot to talk about.
These are innocent. They're absolutely innocent. And I think these are a bunch of vultures, a bunch of demonic entities.
Oh, demonic entities. Oh, I love these fucking. I love this. Love this for you.
And they want to pray. It's like as soon as, oh God, it's gross. All right, I'm done. I'm going. I will see y'all. I'll be back later on.
Listen, just a reminder really quick before I talk. Cooper, Charles, stop it. Before I talk more about this, I want to take you back to a stream I did March 21st. BJ, see, this is why I crack up when you've been using my name and shit, acting like somehow, some way what I was doing was beneficial to you, helpful to you, that I was going to see. Bitch, you lied. You think that I'm ever going to not see you as a liar? Cooper. Sorry, Cooper really hates Julie's voice. Like, it's just a thing, and you guys know that. And he might be telling a cat off at the same time. But sorry about that. You lied. You have lied on me doing things to your kids. You're no different to me than Julie. That will never change. I don't forgive and forget, especially strangers who do stupid shit like you do. Look, the only thing that's happening in this situation is you just took a lot of people to pasture with you. I'm here for it because you're all mooing and suing over there. But a little reminder. I told you right away when I heard Julie say this, you better watch what you're doing. This is from October 30th. So if you've been paying attention, Julie has stated that she was in a car accident and they were dealing with that. She's done videos on it. That's not my care or concern. Don't really care. But this video is very interesting in particular, if you ask me. But there's only a couple of seconds that I really want to play, this being one of them.
I wore my bun for court because I was like, I'm gonna be serious here at court. I didn't wear this, I changed. But
this was in reference to a traffic court situation, not in regards to any of these court situations. This was an auto accident that she went to court over.
Like, oh, I'm coming in correct with a bun. Like, you ain't gonna mess with me. No cop there, prosecutor, nope. Never, like, it never happened. Never happened. That's the OG way.
He's talking about a fucking traffic ticket, by the way. But because she's a gangster, she runs shit.
That's the Jersey way. That's the Sopranos way. That's how we do it. That's how we roll in Jersey. Jersey girl. And Scorpio. By the way, my birthday is November 6th.
Oh, well, isn't that ironic? Well, this is even better. Let's listen.
Promote this one video I did called, I did a live stream about it, but it's like 9 minutes long, where I took just the part of me playing, oh, thank you, playa, Earth Angel, thank you.
Listening ears on for a moment, please.
Throw your hands in the air if you're a true player, if you're a player like me. But I'm a player and I'm a gangster. Don't fuck with me, girl. And let me tell you something. Brittany, let this be a warning to you. You better get me, if you're going to sue me or something, you better get me in North Carolina. Because don't come to this turf in Jersey. Because you ain't going to win here. Nuh-uh. Not in my territory. And I bring my same game wherever I go.
Really? Is that so? I'll tell you what that game is. It's called manipulation. And the poor, pitiful me. Tears. So, to recap today, what happened? For anybody coming in late or moving around, don't misrepresent what I'm saying either. If you're going to fucking get it right, get it right. Since some of you have listening problems or communication issues, it seems. Failure to appear was issued for both Brittany and Craig because instead of showing up and appearing for their municipal court hearings, the petty disorderly persons charge that arose from a December 4th incident, they didn't show. Brittany went live on YouTube instead. The judge has issued FTAs, which is a failure to appear. That is not to be confused with a bench warrant. So I don't know what will be the process. He said he wants them back in 2 weeks. So they will have an additional court date coming up around the 27th, it should be. And as soon as the docket or the court website updates, we will know the date. All right, now on to the details of the hearing. Like I explained before, right before their break, you could audibly hear Julie in the courtroom. No big deal. Of course, I figured she'd be there in person. She was. They cycle through, they take this break, they come back. One new person appeared as a viewer. That person, I'm assuming, was probably reached out to at that point in time and said, my case will be coming up soon. Obviously on Julie's side, because BJ didn't even show up herself, let alone anybody on behalf of her show up. No attorney represented either one of them. And the last hearing, when they went before the judge and went and got Craig, they said that they would be using the same attorney that represented them in the Superior Court matter. However, no attorney on file for either. And which is really strange because they would have been offered public defenders. I don't know if Craig knew about this court date or not, to be honest, and nor do I care. It's their responsibility. They're almost 40-year-old individuals. And I know, like, you're just asking me, but he knew he had court cases coming up. Like, what the fuck? What the absolute fuck? So this person was just another viewer, but it was very clear that they were there because they put their name as initial last name, and then behind it they put in parentheses Skolnick versus Jackson. Jackson/Craig is how it was. So me and another person that I know and communicate with, she will be giving a synopsis too. Y'all know who it is. Requested the links legally and wanted to see how this procedure actually worked. So we were there the entire time. We logged in an hour before, 45 minutes before the court proceedings actually happened, and just sat there. And I watched how the whole thing goes down. And like I said very clearly, the last recording of the prosecutor could have only came from Julie or BJ. The public available link that you are given, you go right into the courtroom. Dumb as fuck. Because here's how it happened. The prosecutor comes in, and usually in these situations, they are kind of a middleman of sorts. They don't really build the case. Well, let me just tell you, a pissed off prosecutor that has been communicated to, that was recorded, and this was all disseminated all over the internet, definitely pissed off the prosecutor. Sure did. Yep, because he's bad. So he comes rolling in hot. Absolutely rolling in hot. And says, oh my gosh. Oh, goodness. We're such nerds with our notes. It's so bad. We are so bad about it. Yeah, don't piss off a prosecutor or a judge. Right. Steph. It's just the funniest thing. Nonsense is helping Brittany. No, I'm not. In fact, nonsense shows up for a court date that Brittany's supposed to be at, and Brittany doesn't even show, but sure. Anywho, moving along. So he starts detailing the case. He said that it was filed for and then downgraded, of course, as we know. She wanted cyber harassment. It's downgraded to petty harassment, basically. There was another term he used. I'll have to go pull my notes, and I can give you a whole detailed word for word what he said synopsis. I was writing it's pathetic. But it was downgraded, and he makes a big deal out of that. And he uses this statement at one point, when I prove. He's got an axe to grind at this point. I'm going to say it. And he starts repeating some of the things that are problematic. And he's like, I hope the judge, Your Honor, needs to understand some of the background of this. He's trying to kind of give an overview of what this is. He goes into the last court hearing on the 1st was recorded. His prosecutor meeting was recorded. And he communicates that all of his information, his phone number and his, the work email that he provides and stuff, was distributed to over 50,000 people in the United States. Do you recall Julie's police report of 50,000 views across the United States? Shocking, right? Julie's standing next to him this entire time. He mentioned that there was a matter in Superior Court with the defendant, which would be Craig. And in that, like I said, we'll have to wait for the next, I'm sure in the next one, they'll probably get into more of the details of those things. He mentions that has been concluded. So I do not know if a final order of protection was entered. I'm curious if that was a no-show too, and a final was actually entered and Julie was successful in that. Could be. But I'm not clear if it was dismissed or granted. It's been concluded. That is what I do know. So whatever the case is, whether it was issued or dismissed, was not clear to me. I almost think that it's more than likely she probably got it, but I cannot confirm. Then, as we're sitting there listening to him, hold on just a second. Bree says, I'm trying to imagine the mousy guy coming in angry and animated. I'm failing. I'm telling you, Bree, he was extremely animated, extremely pissed. Like the whole tone of the whole situation changed. The judge is very lighthearted, very down to earth, truly. And the demeanor in the entire place changed with the prosecutor's behavior. Thank you for the support. I was like, oh shit, here we go. Here the fuck we go. And it was true. So he expresses to the judge his concerns. They try to ask them if they are present. It is continued to be said that, oh, they're present. Oh, so-and-so's here. Unmute. Well, they kept looking at that account that had logged in that had in parentheses Skolnick versus Jackson. For some reason, one of them, or they thought that might have been one. So when they were telling the person to unmute, of course, the person didn't unmute because they're not Brittany or Craig. The prosecutor rewatched the video of himself yesterday and today, he said. So Julie's been pushing heavily. We know that. He flat out did say that the only people that could have recorded it are Julie, BJ, and he did say that there was one other person present on the video. If he himself would go back and see his cases that day, he would realize that SD that was on the screen was there today for a case also with attorney. So they were shuffled in to that same room, but that person, unless it was a mirror, what they'll be able to find out, and this is a conversation I'll have with him, if there was two people with the same name, and I'm talking that Sal DeLuca account that we all noticed on the screen, that person was there for a case today. It wasn't a one-off. So if they had a case that week, I mean, come on now. And Tyrone was there again. His name's not Tyrone. It's actually Dwight, which is really weird. Anywho, quite the opposite of Tyrone. But both of them had cases. Same thing. They're on the same 2-week cycle. So that's off the board. Okay, so moving through. Let me look through these. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't understand why they didn't, Tara. I don't understand. They were offered legal representation, and they said that they had legal representation. Craig's attorney was going to represent him. So I'm not really sure on that. there was one piece of it, and as the prosecutor is talking to the judge, he mentioned something, and I'm going to leave that out for now. What was mentioned? Because on the heels of that came a discussion between him and the judge about recusing himself. My opinion of that is yes, he should recuse himself. The municipal prosecutor. He's emotionally invested. You could absolutely tell. And there's valid reasons, especially with what he mentioned. And the reason I'm not saying this is because I think that would easily get him recused. I think he should make the decision himself. Because something in this situation he spoke on and he shouldn't have. His own location to things. So that part will be to be seen. But he was very heavy on the fact that you could tell he was feeling disrespected. He's pissed about this link. He's pissed about that being disseminated. Absolutely. Julie's, like I said, she's in there in person, turning the tears on. Now, another thing I want to mention is he brought up her two disabled young men and tried to make an argument that they are impacted. He kind of wanted us to not be able to speak on any of this today. And the judge reminded him that these are public proceedings. I do too, Casey Lee, I do too. She has used those boys so incredibly ridiculous. I don't even have the proper words to say what I'm thinking. Hearing a municipal prosecutor communicate them being affected when they're not even in the household, according to her own words, and they have no idea none of this was actually done the way she's claiming or filing police reports, is fucking maddening. She's lying. Julie's flat out lying. And she's continued those lies in person to this prosecutor, and you can tell. Because he used that in an argument to the judge about safety concerns and not wanting anything further to happen to those young men. Nothing happened to those young men to begin with. Both Julie and BJ disgust me with the weaponization of their children. And he, once again, did the Julie thing and really leaned in on them being disabled young men. And he didn't mention just one. He mentioned both. So she's got this municipal prosecutor thinking that something here outside of Julie's own control, which Julie is in full control of that. Yeah, it's a fucking shit show. It moved on to them deciding that he would do a failure to appear and a case would be heard, and this would be heard in 2 weeks. The prosecutor stated that he wanted them to have to be there in person, and he will be, when he proves this case, seeking jail time. Yeah, it became his job now, Chad EBT. Yep. And he would have been more of a third party had there not been the disrespect and the recording and all of that stuff. That was done, in my opinion, to get this reaction, because based on the law and the statements that are actually made, none of this should be happening. But because Julie is manipulative and a liar, a seasoned fucking liar, and BJ and Craig are negligent on any responsibilities and priorities, this is truly a travesty of our courts. The cost that it is on our courts, and what a shame to actual victims. He wasn't joking. Yeah, Kim, absolutely. They're pissed. The judge not so much. In fact, he actually did say to the prosecutor, maybe you should recuse yourself. Well, he said maybe you should. When the municipal prosecutor said maybe I should recuse myself, he said maybe you should. Because things that Craig has supposedly said have been completely misrepresented just based on the facts. Just on statements alone. And that's what I'm saying. Like when he went to quote that Mr. Black had said she was a soulless demon, I about fucking fell over like, sir, that's not a fucking threat. He really laid in heavily into the lewd conduct, which is ridiculous to me on a legal basis, because lewd under the, which in this annoyance, I guess, all of that matters. When it comes to the VASPA in the lewd conduct, it doesn't apply. But what they're trying to go after here is that he's just over the top and so rude to her. Poor her. She said that it was continuing. The prosecutor communicated that the harassment has continued up until yesterday. I don't know where the proof of that is. Like I said, I haven't been watching BJ, so I don't know if Craig has mentioned her name. Fucking wild. What else did I miss? Let me look. Let me scan my notes right quick. Hold on, please. He wanted him to know the history of this. The judge needed to understand the history and the complaints pending. They were downgraded. It was downgraded to simple harassment. That's right. That's the word he used, simple harassment. Sorry, I'm looking at my own notes. He makes a big deal out of the... Oh, he did mention that they lived in North Carolina and this was in New Jersey. So he was already kind of trying to argue jurisdiction, which that would have been my big push on the other side. However, there was nobody there. There was no attorney representing Brittany and Craig. And again, they were offered, like they would be offered representation, public defenders. I do believe so. Even though they're in a different state, I think that that would have been standard protocol for them to be offered public defenders. So I don't know why they didn't go that route. Craig said last time that his legal counsel was going to represent him, but he didn't even know that he had this charge at the time. So that was a little weird. But he kind of starts to like go into jurisdiction argument, and it wasn't necessary at the point because there was nobody to argue back with. He made a big deal out of the recording. He says that the case in Superior Court has been concluded, but I could not understand what he meant if a final was issued or dismissed. He got the date wrong. He said that a TPO was granted in favor of Ms. Skolnick. Then he communicated that it was granted in April, and she corrects him and says February 11th it was initially granted. That's the date she filed. He made it very clear that it was either Julie, BJ, or Craig that recorded. I do not believe it was Craig, and hear me out. He didn't even know he had a fucking hearing that day. He wasn't present until they went in front of the judge. So I do not believe it was at all Craig. I believe it's likely it could be a third party. Julie or BJ, either one of them could have shared those forms. And I know that Julie has been sharing forms with others, and that could have gotten disseminated beyond that. And somebody could have used, if there was any of the like information in there, they could have absolutely joined in. I think it's more likely one of them knows who they had in there, but I don't know. He was concerned about us recording. That was another thing he mentioned, because we were in the courtroom listening. And of course, she made a stink out of it and made him aware we were there. Yeah, I'm not hiding. There's nothing for me to hide from. I was legally there as a public participant. There's no gag order. When you file court papers on fellow YouTubers and lie in your police reports, it's of public interest. And we have a legal right to follow it. So the judge reminded him it's a public courtroom. Sure did. So I'm entitled to talk about whatever the fuck I want. I really like the judge, though. The judge was great. Let me see. What else? I think I hit all my points for the most part. 50,000 views across the United States. I did giggle. I had to giggle. He watched the videos again yesterday and today. Yeah, he cut him off. I did put that in there too. You did too. I'm looking through yours. He didn't get demon out. That's right. He just got soulless out. But the line is soulless demons, and it's not directed at even Julie. That's the funny thing to me, is that was one of the broad reaching statements that she tried to use. But the prosecutor remembered that, and that bothered him. You could tell it bothered him. Soulless, and the judge stopped him, and it was like, we're not doing that yet. That's what, that's part of the process. But you could just see, like, it was, oh God. Yeah, he said when he convicts them, that's a good point, of these egregious offenses, he's going to ask that they be incarcerated. That's the exact statement. I want BJ and Craig produced in person. And when I convict them of these egregious offenses, I'm going to ask that they be incarcerated. And Kathy, thank you so much for the support. Appreciate you. I missed a lot. We'll catch up on the replay. You missed a lot of fucking insanity. I think, yeah, we got the same shit. Oh yeah, he mentions he wants the pedigree is what he called it. He wants the pedigree of Craig because he wants a certified criminal history. Because Craig supposedly is going to testify. And he wants his criminal history. You know why he wants his criminal history? Because Julie has been communicating that he's got an excessive history of violence. He's got charges, not convictions. And Julie has inaccurately represented that repeatedly. So this guy thinks that Craig has an extensive criminal background. And I felt that was really off-putting to me, if I'm being honest, that she's got a master's degree in education. Like she's some upstanding citizen. She's a manipulative con. Sorry, that's what it is. She turns the tears on. And I call her a con because she conned people by misrepresenting what she filed to police and in court documents. I said what I said. Sorry, one of the teenagers needed me for a minute. Bree says, being an ass is currently not a crime in the U.S. As much as I despise them all, if anyone serves time for this, our justice system no longer exists. Bree, I agree. Thank you for the support. Here's the problem. The municipal prosecutor was out of line in a lot of things, in my opinion. There was no need to, I mean, he should be able to get his criminal history. I don't know why it matters if the guy's going to testify. I guess you want to be able to determine like a person's character of whether their testimony is going to be accurate or not. But I think that was definitely misrepresented because he made such a big deal out of her having a master's in education. I'm dancing around whether I want to tell you guys what he said about recusing himself because I feel like it's important for transparency and the nature of justice. But at the same time, I don't want to be targeted further that I'm putting this guy in any harm's way, if that makes sense. Julie has already put a target on my back and tried to make this detective or the prosecutor believe that one of us was behind recording this and showing it. And that makes me uncomfortable. You can request the audio of this court hearing. You absolutely can request. It's your public right to request this court hearing and listen to it. You cannot play it publicly is what we have been told. That's why allegedly speculating did a synopsis last time. After getting the audio, after the court hearing is over, you can FOIA the audio. They'll get it to you. And then from there, you just kind of have to do a synopsis. I just feel like she's going to use that if I talk about it to target me even further and try to tell the prosecutor that I'm putting him in danger. And she is doing her and her friends are really trying to put me in a position of being responsible for this recorded audio or that I've done something outside of just detailing Julie's words. So at this point in time, it's more of a protect myself situation than anybody else. It's important for the facts of justice, in my opinion. However, at the same time, it's important that I don't get caught up and targeted even more by Julie, who intentionally went into this poking them for a reaction and has said just as egregious shit to them as they ever have to her. I'll say this. Mr. LaSalle, if you get this, because I'm sure you will be sent this video. In fact, I'll probably send it to you myself since I know this will be misrepresented of what I said and what I talked about publicly. I was the person attending this court hearing, as you know, one of them in the public viewing audience. You mentioned the possibility of recusing yourself, I think, and you mentioned in the pursuit of fairness today in your courtroom that certain things you wanted to happen. With all due respect, I think it's time you recuse yourself. Not that it matters to me or anybody else. But you have, in your pursuit and being offended and manipulated over this link that none of us know, and you didn't even care to get to the bottom of it either, it doesn't seem. None of you tried to reach out and get to the bottom of who ran with this. You are not seeking fairness. You're seeking some sort of revenge, it seems like, for something. And the reason you mentioned recusing yourself is a very valid point. The judge even agreed. Let me see if there's anything else. The part about the two autistic young men really bothered me. I made big, huge poof. Yeah, he said he doesn't mind recusing himself. Yeah, that's another thing you wrote down that I didn't. The prosecutor says to the judge, this lady just wants to be left alone. She unhid her channel today. She just unhid her channel because they've got the prosecutor fired the fuck up. Mm-hmm. She did. She absolutely did. She absolutely, any of us that have watched what she has done with those two young men, it is so ridiculous. And in the issue of fairness in a court setting, that should not even be able to, they're not on there as co-plaintiffs at all. There's some problematic things here. That's why I'm saying, like, this has never been about doing it for BJ or Julie. I want to know the fucking truth. And this situation is crazy. And whoever recorded that benefited Julie. That recording fully benefited Julie because it got the prosecutor playing her games. It really did. Request it. Listen to it. Tell me what you hear, because it absolutely took a big portion of what was even talked about. He's very offended about him being recorded. He says he's going to issue a failure to appear on both, list the case to come back in 2 weeks, and then he will entertain a motion if they fail to appear again. And the motion was for a bench warrant. Then we get addressed as spectators, and he cautions us about recording. Yeah, I'm not dumb. He mentions the children. He doesn't want anybody to get hurt. Yeah. I just read her note and I was like, oh my gosh, this shit. They failed to appear, so he's issuing FTAs. Okay. Prosecutor says yes, and it ends. So there's that. So all over fucking internet shit. It is such a fucking mindfuck right now for myself personally to be sitting here talking about this, knowing what she used for these police reports and what eventually she used for these complaints, and then hearing things that I have heard and comments that I have seen. I thank God I'm not Julie Skolnick is all I can say. Thank God I'm not Julie Skolnick, but I could be. But what the fuck? This is such a misuse of our court system. And to see how pissed off he is about this situation, but yet being misled and not even provided accurate contact information for those of us that actually have the link, is a mind fuck. Like, sitting in that courtroom, being me, after hours of detailing the lies and comparing the police statements with the direct quotes, absolutely wild to hear his impression. And I tell you what, she might suck at a lot of stuff, but manipulation she is good at. It is really unreal. It's really unreal. It really fucking is unreal up to good. Sam, what did you ask? Sorry if I missed it. What are you asking again? Question, did you say something along the lines of seeing the reports that were mentioned, you and Queen Bee, like the ones were set to be released? I'm not following you, Lindsay. We have the police reports. We have continued to follow it and FOIA additional police reports and records because we figured that she was filing, and that's how we learned of the police reports against Queen and I. I'm not sure what you're asking, though. Can you be more clear? BJ didn't even show up. She went live instead. I would hope so. Let me answer your questions really quick. Get your questions in. I'm going to slow my chat down and answer anything I can. Right. No, there was a couple of us viewers. 2 of us the entire proceeding throughout the entire court proceedings today, and then 1 showed up after break. That was there for the Skolnick versus BJ stuff. I have no idea who it is. I know their initials, their first initial and their last name, but I was not a detective in my former life. BJ's back to eating nice. I don't know. She goes and sits in her car. It had to be. No, it had to be. There's just no other way, Samantha. And listen to me when I say this. So when you call and request a link, the way it's legally done, you contact the court, you request a public Zoom link. They send it to you via email. You log in. That takes you right into the courtroom with the judge, not into the prosecutor. So I repeat, this person could have only gotten to that spot via a link provided to Julie or BJ. There were other people in there, but they were cases that were continued. I was able to verify that when they were logging in today, that they were there continued from last week or the last hearing that they had to today. No, not at all. We knew that would happen, though. I was never doing this for BJ. Ever. Ever, ever. Yeah, if you're going to file a police report, file it correctly and be honest about it. Give their fucking contact info so somebody could actually reach out and say, hey, where did you get this link? You're being accused of this. You're going to accuse me of something and then not even provide my contact information? Shady ass bitch. I don't know what she said. She just definitely, but I like I said, Amy, I gave him my full legal name and we were there. When she got there, I was already there. So I was probably in the courtroom on the Zoom screen, on the TV screen that they most likely have in the courtroom. So she knew we were there. She absolutely knew we were there. And I wanted her to know I was there. I wanted her to know I was front and center listening to this. Yes, absolutely, Kim. Yep. She said she'd been sending them stuff already, the last court hearing. Yeah, it had to have been something that they shared with somebody. One of the 2 of them. Seven days. So after she filed that petty or private citizen's complaint is what you were saying, PCC, private citizen's complaint in New Jersey on January 8th. On January 15th, she was still going real life on Brittany and Craig, asking questions about their childhood, their all sorts of stuff that shouldn't have happened. Yep, 7 days. The 15th, she reached out and text messaged to people. And they didn't go over any evidence, so I don't know if she submitted anything or not. She claims she did. Nope, there was no discussion of any amended police reports. No evidence was discussed. The judge shut him down when he was even trying to talk about statements and stuff. That's why he got soulless out and then he was cut off. The statement is soulless demon, but it wasn't directed to Julie. I disagree, Julie. I don't think it was her that did it. I think it was somebody on her behalf. But I do believe she is the one that had the intent, and BJ and Craig are too lazy, in my opinion, to do that. Julie was losing, and should be losing on the basis of the law, and being a dishonest narrator of the statements actually made to her. This should not be going any further on that basis, but because of their negligence, and she knew that. She knew what she was dealing with. Everybody knows how they are. She unhid her channel today. Yep. Yeah, she went live over going to court. Any other questions? I did not see your email share, not yet. Yeah, well, bond float, not necessarily. I mean, the judge scheduled a hearing in 2 weeks, and they can still pull themselves out of it. I would get a fucking attorney. Sure as fuck would. I would absolutely be making it a priority to get an attorney that's going to actually follow this through. Yeah, Crafts, he was cut off. The judge was like, the judge's face was hysterical a few times. Hell no, I shouldn't have been. Porch swing. No, I should be a defense attorney. Hats off to those defense attorneys, because some of these people could have been in some shit positions without their help. No, Ted will never be an islander. Julie has not had to pay a single thing for these filings. Nobody's had to pay a single thing except the taxpayers in that county. All of these filings are free. Yep, she was. She was live instead of she showing up to court. Oh, and one other thing for anybody coming in late. I do not know the status of the RO. It is concluded. I do not know if a final was ordered or if it was dismissed, which is really shocking to me that Julie and BJ, neither one let anybody know. 3 little birds. It was mentioned about them being in a different state, and if that proceeded, how they would even, and the judge basically kind of nipped it in the bud. They didn't go into that any further, but the prosecutor did start to mention his concern of them being out of state and how this could proceed with that. But he was quickly shut down. Absolutely. I actually really enjoyed it. If I'm being honest, I really enjoyed that. Tip, I will. I'll check it. I really enjoyed. I learned a lot today. You want me to tell you about the judge for a minute really quickly? Because I made notes on about the judge too, because I was impressed. Just a quick little PSA about the judge, because I was fangirling a little bit. Fangirling for a very human reason. The judge that they were in front of today was Honorable Judge John Miola, is his name. I don't know how you pronounce it. A lot of these cases, so this is the only case that was in front of this judge that was anything to do outside of like a work permit, a moving violation in a vehicle. That was the basis of most of these. One was a handicap placard issue. This man, this judge, brought up this case. Simple. Was ticketed for a handicap violation, not having her parking permit and parking in handicap parking. She was waiting on her permit or her little temporary whatever. She said that she had emailed it over, the proof that this was in the process, and she did have a placard. She was just waiting for something. I don't remember. It was kind of confusing what she was waiting for anyways. The judge is talking to her, and she says, I just want to plead guilty. You could tell she just wanted it over. She just wanted it over. And she's like, I'll just plead guilty. And he's like, well, wait a second. You had a handicap placard. He stopped goes and has them look to see if they had gotten the email of this placard in her, which they had. She had sent it in. And he says to her, so you had this. So he stopped her before she entered a no guilty plea. And then he dismissed it. Workers with work permits were coming before him for frivolous little things over work permits. A lot of times judges use a stiff hand with that shit, especially because these were not white men. And I say that because I was like, oh shit. They didn't have some sort of work permit and it was like solicitation or something, and not in the, like what you're thinking. It was some silly, simple thing. And this judge was not going to make these guys suffer further. He fined them $50. And that includes the court costs, like $7 here. He broke it all down. I think one of the highest fines I saw him give somebody was $95 today. She needs to get an attorney. Ellen, she should have had an attorney a long time ago. I've said that from jump. She was stupid. She should have had an attorney. There's no wink about it. Everybody has been telling BJ for the longest fucking time, get an attorney and actually do something instead of scamming your audience for $10,000 to do something. You should have fucking saved some of that and actually used it to something legit like this. Look, you can be mad all you want. These are just the facts. These are how these cases work. Whether she has the ability of doing a public defender, she should. I don't know, since they declined it the first time around, if she'll be offered that again or if it's still on the table. I have no idea. It wasn't offered today, but in the first one, he asked about an attorney and they answered that they had an attorney representing him. Oh my gosh, he was great. He was more than fair. And it was one of those things where once you get into the system for something petty like this, super petty like this, it is very easy to keep people in that. And then they start losing there was a lot of plea agreements made in the prosecutor's office. Like before they came before the judge, there was a lot of pleas made. So you plead guilty to this moving violation and I'm going to get rid of this, and this, and I'm not going to suspend your license. Like there was a lot of that. That's why that municipal prosecutor is normally there, because these cases, now I remind you, this case was suggested for mediation the last time they met. We went from the judge suggesting mediation on this case, Julie denying mediation, to now them being disrespectful to the court, having zero follow through and pure intentional manipulation and misrepresentation of the facts. It is a mind fuck to watch it happen in real time and know that, holy shit, this woman is likely going to get one over on them legally because they're so fucking lazy. Nope, no need for it. She should be able to get a public defender. She absolutely should be able to get a public defender. Oh gosh, okay. I just saw those, Tiff. Interesting. Sorry, I coughed on you guys. Yeah, everybody's been telling her it doesn't fucking matter. I don't care if anybody's mad at me for saying that. I don't know if anybody's mad. She should get an attorney. I mean, I've said that all along. Attorneys hire attorneys. I don't care if it's something petty like this or not. That's just a standard formulary thing that should happen. Yeah, I see them, Tiff. It's fucking wild. It's wild. This is wild. Like, I was stunned hearing the anger in that prosecutor today. And yeah, I would say anger. Allegedly speculated. Would you say anger? I felt anger, aggression, frustration, manipulation. And I was like, God damn, what a manipulative asshole. Listen, when he started piping up with his arguments, I was like, oh, if I was an attorney, I'd have been like, objection, Your Honor. Listen, I was holding my hand up at times. Like, ask me that question. I'm the one she's accusing of recording it, and I'm sitting right fucking here. Ask me. Oh, wait, she didn't provide you my information, so you couldn't follow up and ask me for the link because you really don't care to get to the bottom of it. You just want to try to pin it on Brittany and Craig and use it to piss the prosecutor off. Gotcha. She didn't show up, B-Time. She went live instead. Both her and Craig have been issued, or failure to appears will be issued on both her and Craig, not a bench warrant. He will entertain a motion if they fail to appear again in 2 weeks. And the prosecutor's pissed and mentioned even maybe he should recuse himself, and the judge said maybe you should. The prosecutor's in a fucking heated. Yeah, she went live. She was live at the same time. I was legit in the fucking courtroom. I logged in like 45 minutes to an hour early just to make sure that everything was there. So I would get the lay of how everything was. Plus, I wanted to see how it looked when people were coming in and out and how they were shuffling around, because this recording is being pinned on me. And I don't appreciate it because I don't fuck around with shit like this. I'm not going to fuck around with my freedom over fucking Julie and BJ. Y'all are fucking losing it. So I wanted to see how that went. And as I'm sitting there, like, dinging around, I just have my iPad with the Zoom hearing, and they were doing other cases. So I was folding laundry and everything. Next thing I know, I look down at my phone and I'm scrolling YouTube, and there is BJ live. As I'm sitting in the fucking Zoom for the court hearing, she's live. The fuck is going on here, is what I said. She's no-showed. Okay. Yeah, it was a super important drama addressing live. No, B-Time, it had to have came from Julie or BJ. The public available legal link for you to view sends you into the courtroom with the judge, not the back prosecutor's office. The only people provided those back prosecutor office links are Julie and BJ. So one of them shared that with somebody, and then from there, who knows? Allegedly speculating. I'm afraid if I mention why he mentioned potentially recusing himself, that she will run in there and tell him that I'm putting his safety in danger. Because you know how bad Julie is trying to get us hemmed up. Not you so much, me in particular. I just am waiting for her to try with you. But listen, we've done everything the legal way. Oh, I'm sure he already does, Moondogs. Are you kidding me? Julie was on that fucking phone with that guy. I actually turned around and called the court right away and asked for his email so I could forward that other stuff over to him. You mentioned me and you try to put shit on me. Look. I'm not fucking around. Yeah, I think there will be a time and a place. I'm going to wait until the next one. Look, all I'm going to say is I agree with him. I think he should too, just for the sake of the case, just for the fairness of the case, as he said. He wants fairness in the case. I think that it is a necessary evil for him to recuse himself and let somebody else take it. Because let me just explain this. The judge even gave him a few looks like, what the fuck is going on with you? His intense, like, you could tell, like, he hasn't really been in a courtroom representing anything serious in a while. So he was like, here's my time to shine. I got out of my office. Let me tell you this. And when I prove them, when I convict them, I want them incarcerated. Like he was, yeah. Look, he's an older man. I don't think you will. If given an opportunity, I don't think you will. But that's just my perception on it, my opinion. Doesn't matter what I think anyways. I'm just a public spectator of their fucking LawCow bullshit. That's it. But wow, do I love the fact that once again, told you so. Told you everything I had done for content only proved that Julie and BJ are one and the same. And here they are on their day to shine in court, and BJ doesn't even show up. She goes live instead. Guess who's there? Me. Oh, she is absolutely driving him insane. I guarantee the bitch drives me insane, and she's not local to me. I don't have to deal with her in person. I can't even imagine the fucking tears that she sheds. Listen, when it was mentioned about those boys, that's when I knew. Oh, okay. Manipulation tactics 101. I see it. I clock you. They don't even live in that home. They're not impacted by this except what Julie tells them and Julie's mental status. Julie went poking for a reaction. And overall, let me just reiterate, this is a fucking failure and a misuse of our court systems. This is why I'm covering this. They both should be ashamed of themselves, taking time away from actual victims. Julie has no fear. Julie has a fear of her own fucking bullshit. She put her channel back up today. You know why? Because she thought the prosecutor performed on her behalf. It's not a very fucking hard day when somebody doesn't show up. This is what she was hoping for with the RO, that they didn't show up. BJ gave her what she wanted. So did Craig. And if he thinks those statements are bad and so lewd and menacing, man, I should send him some of the other ones that the people that Julie sits with say to people, and they cheer on. She's scared of Craig, but buddies with somebody who acts just like him. Make that make sense. A couple of them, actually. She cheers on when they threaten and berate other women, but she goes and files police reports. I remind you, it's a good fucking thing I'm not Julie Skolnick, and will never be. Because what would Julie Skolnick do? Well, we're getting a very good view of it. And for shits and giggles, because it's important, Julie told everybody right here, October 30th.
I wore my bun for court because I was like, I'm gonna be serious here at court. I didn't wear this, I changed. But I was like, oh, I'm coming in correct with a bun. Like, you ain't gonna mess with me. No cop there, prosecutor, nope. Never, like, it never happened. Never happened. That's the OG way.
He's talking about a fucking traffic ticket, by the way. But because she's a gangster, she runs shit. That's the municipal prosecutor. The judge didn't really. The judge was cutting him off because he was like overstepping for what it was today. They weren't even there. And the judge was like, no, we're, So the judge cut him off, but it was all the prosecutor, the municipal prosecutor. Yep.
The Jersey way. That's the Sopranos way. That's how we do it. That's how we roll in Jersey. Jersey girl. And Scorpio. By the way, my birthday is November 6th.
Oh, well, isn't that ironic? Well, this is even better. Let's listen.
I promote this one video I did called, I did a live stream about it, but it's like 9 minutes long, where I took just the part of me playing, Oh, thank you, playa. Earth Angel, thank you.
Listening ears on for a moment, please.
Throw your hands in the air if you're a true player. If you're a player like me, but I'm not. I'm a player and I'm a gangster. Don't fuck with me, girl. And let me tell you something, Brittany. Let this be a warning to you. You better get me if you're gonna sue me or something. You better get me in North Carolina, because don't come to this turf in Jersey, because you ain't gonna win here. Nuh-uh. Not my territory. And I bring my same game wherever I go.
October 30th. October 30th. Daisy Maisie, stop the bullshit. Seriously, stop the bullshit. Don't come in here and ever speak out the side of your ass like that about somebody's baby. You're sick. Especially when BJ was on live. So, that's that. All right, is there any other questions? Otherwise, I'm done. So, failure to appear is issued. Municipal prosecutor is pissed off because of that recording. Julie didn't provide them information of where the recording even went or how to contact those of us with the recording. I have gone ahead and done that myself, so they have my information and can contact me, and that has been provided. They do know, the prosecutor said, the municipal prosecutor said it had to be Julie, BJ, Craig, or he said maybe this SD, but if he goes and looks at his, when I have a conversation with him, I will make sure he knows that, because he wasn't paying attention today, obviously, either. SD, the same case, was continued today. So that was just another person shuffled through there. His people right there, Julie and BJ, are his two, where he needs to look to see which one of them shared the link with somebody. Is there any other questions before I go? So failure to appear is court in 2 weeks. No bench warrant as of now. He's pissed off. Made the statement about potentially recusing himself. 50,000 people have viewed his confidential meeting across the United States. He's pissed off and offended by that. He started to mention that Craig has said things such as soulless, and the judge cuts him off. Soulless demons. I mean, if you call someone a soulless demon and that guy's that offended, Lord help us. Stay out of here. Let me make sure I got everything. I didn't unmute. I didn't interrupt. Yeah. Midwest, if they don't show again, the judge said he will entertain a motion for a bench warrant. So the prosecutor made it very clear he wants them to have to appear in New Jersey, which is fucking ridiculous over this. But it's because of the disrespect and everything. Of course. Yeah, don't thank me for going. I actually enjoyed it. I will continue to cover this. This is what I've been doing all along. And although some of you have been manipulated to believe there was other intent or purposes here, no, it's LawCow and LawCow. They're fucking liars, both of them. And our courts should not be misused for frivolous games on the internet. As much as you dislike somebody, the crime has to, or the punishment needs to fit the crime. And just because she has done XYZ to this person doesn't mean that what Julie is doing. And here's my problem with it. She's not been an honest narrator. She has not been an honest narrator at all about what was said to her. She is completely... Yeah, I thought of that too, Marcy. Other people in other countries too. I was like, does he know he's worldwide, not just United States wide? I mean, come on now. We've got people all over. Shit ton of channels played at Melissa Hart. I can't even detail all the different channels, but Queen and I were the only ones mentioned in the police reports. No, I do not. I have the original link though, and the email that I was sent that I forwarded to them already. Autumn copied Stormy's question for you. Oh, hold on. Let me go back up further. Stormy asked, what did they say that implied Julie suggested you have done anything to endanger the prosecutor? No. What I said was I don't want her to be able to imply that I am endangering the prosecutor by detailing one piece of the hearing today. There was just one thing said from the prosecutor, which actually seemed very out of place. It was extremely out of place. And that was followed up by the discussion of recusing. It wasn't that in depth, but those things were very important. And the judge even said, maybe you should. So I don't want, and I'm not detailing that because I'm not giving Julie the opportunity to say that I potentially am putting this prosecutor in danger, because that is farthest from the truth. But I think he, once again, very extreme situation with his behavior today. A complete different person than we saw in that recording. I'm telling you, this is nothing like The Sopranos, what she's doing. She's a tattletale. She's a crybaby. She rats people out, in my opinion. That has no significance, similarly to The Sopranos, Julie. Yeah, she's an embarrassment to anybody that's been a gangster or mobster or anything in their life. They don't fucking niches get stitches and end up in ditches. Isn't that the saying? There has no porch swing. It was not required at this time. I don't know how it will be written up, but I did not take that he was entertaining him for making them show in person in 2 weeks. I think what will happen is, my own personal opinion, I could be wrong, I think he'll give him one more shot to appear via Zoom in 2 weeks. And if that doesn't, then he will put into motion for a bench warrant and possibly demand that they show up in New Jersey. The municipal prosecutor wants him there in person. The judge didn't seem very... The judge was kind of like, what the fuck just happened here? Like, the day had gone so smooth. Everything was just running smoothly. And then he comes in with this case, and it was just like, what the fuck happened? And this was the last case of the day, so it ended right afterwards. Yeah, you got to also remember, for the first like 10 to 12 days of this, when I started my coverage and going back and listening to Julie's words, everybody should have been very, very happy about that coverage, because if Julie was an honest narrator of what the situation was, it would have matched the police reports. Her statements would have matched, the continuing stories would have matched, and all that happened is we found out she lied, she misrepresented things, she omitted things, she added words to things, she filed police reports on ridiculous things. Her sole intent was to hem BJ up and initially take her channel. She detailed that as much. And then she talked about how if they get charged with a misdemeanor, she once upon a time even detailed the fact of them potentially getting put in jail and brought to New Jersey. It was quite the fucking hypothetical want of hers, but it was very clear early on. Oh, Julie absolutely benefited from the link being watched, or the link being... Yeah, absolutely, because it angered the municipal prosecutor, rightfully so. I guess, you know what? I don't really have anything. I have about 45 minutes. I don't have to leave for 45 minutes. I could do this. Do you guys want to spend 45 minutes more with me? Just as a reminder. It's up to you guys. I'm just going to say this one more time too. Okay, I got you. We'll carry on for 45 minutes. I want to remind people of something. For all of you that ran around and bought into BJ's public optics of using my name. I guess she has said my name recently and was like acting like, oh, nonsense is waking up. She's nice to me, or so, I don't know what was said, but somebody came to me and they're like, she's doing it again. She's probably not been paying attention to my content, because yesterday I played probably one of the worst mocking media videos of her and Craig. I mean, it's fucking funny as shit. It's a great video. Well done by mocking, but makes Craig look like the fucking idiot he actually is. And then I played my own clips. I don't fuck with her. For any of you running around and trying to stir that shit up, you're going to look like a dumbass, because it's never going to be true. I've never spoken to her, have no indication of speaking to her. This was never about helping her. And those of you that play the public optics, you're fucked. You're stupid. I said what I said. And if you are offended by me calling you stupid, well, stop running around being stupid. Period. End of. I was extremely transparent when I walked into what I was doing here, have been throughout. And I'm going to remind you of something. Well, you're cheering for Julie Skolnick and clutching your pearls over what you've heard Craig and Brittany do and say. How are you cheering for just a louder version of Craig and Brittany? Answer that for me. You feel Julie has the right to file police reports and file court orders off of lies about what was said to her, misstatements of what was said to her. But I just got threatened. AI photos with threats were brought to YouTube by Chroma Reels, who helped Julie collect clear, clean copies for her court proceedings. And I'm in the wrong? Well, the transphobia, again, I'm not transgender, so it doesn't offend me, and it offends an entire community who has fought just to be accepted and live their lives happy. Your transphobia, your homophobia, all of it, the bigotry is coming out wildly. And the threats that are just, they didn't happen, didn't see them. Revival got a community, like 18, wasn't it like a restriction 18 and over on your community post when you even tried to write in the comments what was said? But Julie has the right. Everybody was fighting for Julie's right to be in fear. And now you're listening to people threaten, say fucking way worse than I've ever heard Craig say for days on end, taking it to over 10 channels. When you're encouraging somebody like Julie Skolnick and watching this happen, and that door comes back and slaps one of you because you've cheered this on, and the same thing can be done because you're just as reckless, if not worse, and we're normalizing this and nobody's saying anything about it, don't be shocked when that door comes back around and Julie Skolnick tries it again. Be thankful I'm not Julie Skolnick. But I wouldn't even have to lie. The clips exist. The statements exist. When you're using Julie and her reckless disregard for the truth to play fucking games on the internet, that day will come. Yeah, porch swing. Well, it's not, I've always had a hard time, like, with, well, not a hard time, I shouldn't say that. It's not transphobic. What they're doing isn't transphobic. So I don't know if you saw porch swing, what Chroma Reels did in her AI images. See, Chroma Reels, Terry Lynn, and that little crew has been a fucking, since the start of this, way back in February, before I even started detailing anything with Julie and BJ, they were on edge because they were being exposed for the liars they are. They've just continued to stir shit and lie. So she made these AI images thinking that Clue's threat to me the other night was just so cute. She put it on an AI image. And then as you progress through those images, they were a very manly looking like hairy chest, opened up shirt, hairy chest, looked like a drag queen. It was extremely transphobic. You can't deny it. It is like, it was gross. Then she was taking and making AI images. Me and Mackenzie, my daughter, are going to a Pitbull concert. That's how close she's listening. Like, these people are fucking creeps. I detailed it last night. Porch Swing, if you missed last night's little stream, that's what I came on and addressed, and I showed those if you want to see it. It's absolutely disgusting. So although I'm not transgender and it doesn't offend me at all, you are watching people that used to call BJ out for that behavior who have now succumbed to doing the exact same thing. So tell me again how they're any different than BJ and Craig. In fact, Craig doesn't have a microphone. These other men do. And listen, do I feel threatened by what Clue said? No, I don't. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard somebody say, because she's not threatening to harm me physically. She's threatening to, the words would be considered sexual assault. That's what she's threatening to do. She's not threatening to beat me up. She's threatening to bust me wide open. Worse or better, I don't remember the exact term, than Kyle ever has or Kyle ever could. And then follows it up with, you're going to take this dick. And although I don't feel threatened, because look, that's just, yeah, no. Embarrassed for her would be the statement I would probably say. I remember when Lemon got on BJ's and said something to Petty about a partner, and we all spoke up and said, enough. This is disgusting. That was crossing every fucking line and boundary. But I guess it just depends. The selective nature of things out here is always shocking to me. But that's just how the space works. And here, I can't write it, but my beautiful friend did. So zoom in. Oh, wait, I can do it. There you go. There's the statement at the bottom of your screen. It's because nobody wants to be on the end of the receiving end of it up to goods. I appreciate that, Autumn. I really do. You've been with me and walking this through and paying attention, so you know that I was screaming very loudly who was causing shit, who was lying, who was stirring shit. Julie was fucking following me into chats. Julie was emailing anybody that I talked to and asking them to have conversations with her for fucking 10 days. This started so fucking early on. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like I said, I don't feel threatened by it, but I've been avoiding a lot of these things because no, I'm not going to go back and play them. Or, yeah, do I have the clip? Absolutely. I do. And this is why people were upset with the missing context when my screenshots were shown. Because this right here was also included in the same time frame that those text messages were shown. And all that did was prove that I had been communicating with people and not ignoring people. So there's that. Now, 817 of you can't say you didn't see it and don't know it exists. Think about that, though. When you're sitting here going over everything that BJ says, and I'm talking to the subs, and clutching your pearls over things that Craig says, remember what you're cheering for. Unfortunately, I had to do the same. Seems entirely too many people are okay with the casual grape threats if a person throwing them is someone they like. Fucking sucks that even that red line was only pink all along. Yeah, Brie, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, that was and thank you, Brie, again. Any other questions? Like I said, I have the clip if you want to hear the audio. I can send it to you. I just will not play it over here. And it's worse from the males. Again, I don't see it as threatening. I'm not filing police reports. None of that. It's being documented, of course. Because, like I said again, I'm not Julie Skolnick. I don't play fucking games and weaponize people's freedom over words on the internet. I take it very seriously. That's why I stand against all of this shit. Bye, Bog. Absolutely, Moondogs. Okay. You got questions, Tiff? What it is? What's your question? Yeah, I agree. Casual art. Yep. And no, like I said, I've been repeating it. I keep getting emails. Why isn't Kyle defending you? Kyle doesn't even know what's being said for the most part because I protect his peace and can handle my own. And look, I can make sure that man doesn't act out in a lot of ways, but there are lines that have been extremely jumped over here, and he will lose his ever-loving fucking mind. Period. But Kyle doesn't run his mouth. He's not like them. He doesn't get paid to berate women and belittle them. Kyle works a full-time job. And I don't want to put him in the position where he questions whether his freedom is worth it or not. Our family needs him more than him fighting a battle with some loudmouth, ignorant asshole. Okay, let's do this. And yeah, all of this flows together because the same people that are coming for my neck, it all started because this bitch and her friends continued to carry lies and misrepresent what I was detailing all along into chat after chat. I didn't bring other creators into it. In fact, I was trying to avoid other creators being brought into it. I stopped going into chats and vocalized that because this bitch was following me into chats, sending super stickers to try and get them to show stuff to prove me wrong. We listened to Julie's own words and saw Julie's own statements. Julie proved Julie wrong. And those creators knew better than to entertain her. They just tried to avoid it because they knew I was going to smell the bullshit. And it is fucking rank bullshit. Anyone co-signing that nasty shit to nonsense are the exact same as the person saying it. Well, look, they're clutching their pearls over things that Craig says that I haven't heard Craig say near the shit that I've heard come out of Cletus's mouth. That's that. Tebow, yeah, none of these people I would suggest that from. It's profitable for a lot of people, so they don't want to avoid these situations. They want to get into them. All right, let's go into this.
There's been like so many weird things happening lately, but I did a members only live stream. And also I heard, I did a members.
Let me be very clear. I need to say this too. I need to say this. I do not need a single fucking person to defend me. That is not what I'm asking. I'm asking you to check your own fucking morals and your integrity. That's it. I don't want another creator to feel like they have to defend me. I don't need anybody to defend me. I need you to start fucking finding the truth and defending your own goddamn morals and your own goddamn integrity. And some of you are avoiding those self-checks so fucking bad, it's embarrassing. You're not doing it for me. You should be doing it for yourself. I said from the very beginning, it was clear Julie was going to take and tank a lot of people's credibility and their morals and prove that they were liars. And she has absolutely proven me right. Clue hasn't changed nonsense. She was always this way, but it was aimed at Brittany. She said the same and worse about her, but it was accepted. It still is Cletus too. Listen, Sam Brown, I will agree on some piece of that. I said it the other day, and I don't know if you were here or not when I talked about that, about it's even cross lines with them, what has been said and done. The basis of why the initial review of her started was because she allowed people on panel to go real life and completely weaponize a situation that should have never happened, ever should have happened. However, it is only accelerated from there because that energy got matched. And then now that energy has been exceeded. I played a role in that too. We all did. And detailing Julie's fuckery, her and BJ, LawCow and LawCow, really set me on my ass. It really did. Because I had to go back and listen. Okay. And now it's such a full circle moment because worse things, people have been cheering for Julie's right to be feel threatened and afraid and file these reports and take legal action. If I was to do the same, even though 10 times worse has been said to me about me in a very threatening manner, repeatedly, I would be shunned. I understand not all of you are here for the truth. A lot of you are here for a drama. This isn't drama when it's impacting people's freedoms. Craig and Brittany do a lot, have done a lot, have cost a lot of people a lot of money. But I am against locking people up over some fucking words on the internet. Because if that fits for what they have done, then it fits for what others have done. And the day that starts happening over the freedom of speech is the day that we're all fucked. Some of you need to understand what freedom of speech is because unfortunately even hate speech at times is protected speech. When you say you're fighting for other people's freedom of speech, actually know what the fuck you're talking about because you don't even know what the fuck it is. Some of you need to get out of your own delusional fucking way. Because people act like I feel entitled or deserved something. Nah. I don't need a fucking soul to defend me. I need you to fucking check your morals and your values. Because your fucking hypocrites are showing. Anyways. Yeah, it's very malicious if you... Absolutely.
Personally live stream about the threats made against me in December. And the taunting of me based on my religion by Brittany and her chat, and also the doxing of Spencer's twin brother by Brittany, putting him on her screen.
And this is most likely, in my opinion, the version of Julie that this prosecutor has met. This right here.
With identifiable stuff on him, telling people where they could find a video that had been deleted 3 years before that, even though I still don't know where they got it, how they could find it to this day. And then Craig made threats on 2 occasions in December against me. Threats of violence and harm towards me, which I'll play for you. And so
found him. Okay. Lindsay says, sorry, I got a text from my mod and said, will you go find Lindsay's question and answer it? Have the amended reports per Julie via third party on May 6th been released yet? No, we have not gotten those yet. Can you clarify the part about a viewer popping in with initials? Yes. So Lindsay, what I was mentioning was there was one other viewing party, a public viewing party to this hearing today. They came in after the break. So there was a short break. Right before the break, I heard Julie was present in the court. We could hear her through the audio of the call. She was having a discussion with one of them. They went to break. We came back at the time of the break. When we were on break, that additional account came in, and they were just a viewing person. It was the first initial of their name, their last name, and then in parentheses, Skolnick versus Jackson, or like a / Craig. So that was the username that came in, but they were just a viewer. But what I think is most likely, Julie had they had taken a break from the court, so they probably stepped outside. She probably was able to use her phone at the time and said, our case is coming up. So somebody there probably to support Julie probably joined. I'm assuming so, because nobody for BJ was there. It was me, one other person. Actually, there was 2 other people. The other person, I'm not sure who they were in relation to the court, or if they were there like a public viewer. There was one other person, but I don't know anything about that. But that was just the only interesting thing. And the reason why they stood out to me is because they came in after break, stayed with us the entire time, and their username was put into the Zoom in parentheses, Skolnick versus Jackson. So they were clearly there for that and that alone. And they only came in after break, and nobody else. I was communicating with the other person in the courtroom with me. Nobody else was communicating outside of that. So I don't know. That's it. Does that explain? And no, as soon as those new amended, if there's such a thing, police reports, Megan, who are you talking about? Yeah, Magic Star keep being brought up. Do you feel comfortable telling me who you're thinking or who you're talking about? The reason I want to play this is because I believe this is the variation of Julie, the version of Julie that the prosecutor has probably had to deal with. And this is such a manipulative thing. I was thinking about that the other day. I think some of the reason why people do not feel the need to like have some sort of moral check here is because of how I handle it. I do not come on here and bawl. I do not come on here and allow this space to affect me in that degree. But if I was Julie and could turn the tears on like her and BJ are able to and manipulate like they are, I could, oh my God. And all I would have to do is show the fucking things that were said and cry. Do you see how manipulative this shit is? It's such a fucking performance, and she's done it all along. Yeah, I'm trying to catch on to. No, you're fine, Magic Star. You're absolutely fine. I just don't, like, you've been accused of a lot of shit and put into things. You and I have discussed that. I'm just trying to figure out who the party is I'm missing. Yeah, Chroma Reels has gone after Magic Star. But I'm just, sorry, I'm trying to manage kind of watching. What up, Wooddrake? Okay, sorry. I'm going to try to keep looking at your comments because I'm just trying to figure out what you guys are talking about.
You know, it's basically, you know, these things, the threats on more than one occasion that I'll play that Craig made towards me specifically. They were talking about me. I was on the screen. They used my name multiple times as the threats were being made, in both occasions when Craig made it on different dates.
Oh, and one other thing, somebody else asked me earlier this week. Actually, I think it was Monday because it is Wednesday. I was asked if I am afraid of Julie legally. Fuck no. Nope. Abso-fucking-lutely not. I don't threaten people. I don't behave like this. I don't take it offline. I don't do that shit. So abso-fucking-lutely not. Do I want litigation with anybody? Absolutely not. That's a waste of money and everybody's time. But if you think for 1 second I've even twitched at the thought of it, look, I was volunteering myself for an expert witness today and they didn't even need one. Okay. I almost came off of unmute when they were asking questions about that fucking link and almost said, Your Honor, I can answer you those questions. And I maybe should have. But you don't interrupt a judge, and that municipal prosecutor was an asshole. Anyways, I was not getting threatened with fucking contempt of court and interrupting shit. I know my fucking place, and I stay the fuck in it. But if you think for 1 second that I'm even remotely intimidated, I remind you of this. I've got clips of Julie saying she would sue me just for fun. I've got clips of Julie basically saying she doesn't threaten me, so there's not much I can do. That will never happen. I don't play your fucking foul games. And reminder, I am in possession of Julie reaching out to people wanting personal private information of mine, where she weaponizes that I have had a protection order in the past early on, where she's blatantly accusing me of doing things to her children that I never did. You really think she wants to take me to court? Do you think I'm going to be a Brittany for her? Sure as fuck not. And if you think I'm aggressive right here, put me in a spot where my freedom is being threatened. I don't even have a motherfucking traffic ticket. I respect authorities and I don't lie in police reports. You don't have to when the truth tells its own story. I'm glad you came back, Julie. Welcome back. I hope your games are all worth it in the end, because no matter if you win this or not with Craig and Brittany, which we pretty much anticipated you would because they're lazy, and you could make an entire case for them and they still fuck it up. Nobody made an entire case for them. You did. You made an entire case for them and they couldn't even put it together. You made their entire case by lying. And they didn't even have the fucking ability to defend themselves because they're so lazy. They had the ability, I should say that. They didn't have the fucking follow through. Unreal. Unfucking real.
Brittany called her sheriff's office and talked to the sheriff's daughter, supposedly, to tell them that, you know, I could be calling.
Yeah, sure is.
I can't remember what for. Maybe that was about the doxing of Spencer's twin. But I stated at that time, you know, that I wouldn't contact her police department. I was contacting my own police department, which I have done. And the police reports have been filed. And more than one.
Rosebud, did you just trigger me playing my favorite clip? My mods just collectively rolled their fucking eyes, but you sure did. You sure did. You got me to play my favorite clip of the fucking week. Wait for it. I mean, so be it. Better than acting like you. You guys heard that, right? Or did you not hear it? Did you hear it? Oh, you guys didn't hear it? Fuck. Hold on. God dang it. It didn't come through. Hold on. I'm over here like hearing it. It did the whole like unshared audio. Hold on. I gotcha.
You are the epitome of a liberal who is screaming at the top of her lungs. Nobody thinks you're even there. It's real simple. A liberal mind gives liberal actions, and you are acting like an unhinged, far, far left liberal.
Whoopsie, got stuck on the roundabout. Do. Not an unhinged, far, far leftist. Oh my God. You big liberal. God, what's a liberal? Here we go again. You guys, that is my favorite clip of the week, though. The ignorance is astounding, and I love it.
And so I wanted to talk about what can happen from here potentially, and what the laws in New Jersey are as far as jurisdiction. I contacted an attorney and also the police department and the clerk of courts where I live, all advised me that it was appropriate for me to file police reports in our location here.
Just for shits and giggles, because I can.
That you can't forgive. That you can't forgive. But your friend Jay, you know, nonsense. You big liberal.
You big liberal. And you wonder where Julie got fed her talking points. Oh. I mean. Oh. Good Lord, people.
Here in New Jersey, because as the victims of threats and doxing of not doxing, but harassment of an autistic young man, and also the taunting of me based on my religion, as my stepson and I both live here in New Jersey, and we're the victims of this, that as the victims of the crimes, it's who is affected by it is where it should be filed.
Also, they are not listed as actual co-plaintiffs in this, just a note. Even though she claims that she used him as a co-plaintiff, they're not. They are using their disabled status and Julie's bullshit. And the prosecutor did mention these young men today, which in my opinion is completely a disaster, considering they don't even live in the home with her. And the only person weaponizing them is Julie. Nothing was ever done or said to them. Nobody's ever made threats to them whatsoever. It just didn't happen. They were not doxxed. They were not taunted. They were not nothing. BJ fell asleep through the fucking live stream about it. And I think it also is and needs to be represented that Julie is the one who lied about a video being publicly available for years. She lied in the complaint. She lied in police reports and said that the video was deleted. It's only been about 2 weeks now that she actually deleted the Facebook account that it was still publicly available on. And she knows and has been intentionally misrepresenting the truth to her audience about who doxed or who put them out there or anything. She is the sole responsible person, just like BJ is the responsible party when the video of her boys got released.
Not based on where somebody else lives, right? It's the impact of it is where the jurisdiction is. And New Jersey has, luckily, very up to date and modernized laws pertaining to a number of potential crimes and misdemeanors regarding threats, cyber harassment, disorderly persons, and so forth. Okay, there's a bunch of different potential charges. And I tell you,
why that is. You guys are so nice to each other, and I really appreciate this community. It's not really been easy. And, I have goals, and I have reasons to stay on the internet and not let people who are bullies or who threaten the lives of other people push.
Honey Elder, I don't know about you, but for me, he's irrelevant. So I don't know why we would address him as anything besides a lying scumbag that doesn't belong anywhere around here. We're truth seekers, and he is the furthest thing from anything in the phrase of the truth. It's such a travesty that his name on a social media platform even includes that, because it couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. And there ain't a single soul that's going to say that I'm wrong, besides maybe a couple of his cronies. Because, another thing. That's what I've been wanting. Let's get honest here for a second, because I have heard that sorry, little one wanted the remote. I've been hearing that it has become a disagreement or an argument over my coverage of reality and why I discontinued that. Sorry, I keep having to, we got to go here in like 15 minutes, but she's just prepping for, it's senior banquets and shit this week, and student council is putting stuff on, so they're crazy busy all over the place. It is being misrepresented that my coverage of reality stopped for any nefarious purposes or because I started communicating with BJ. You guys, once again, need a brain check. Who was attempting to dox reality? Well, I don't know. Truth. Why don't you ask your mods? Why don't some of these people get honest? Because they know who was doing it. In fact, when that started happening, one of the people that was reached out to and kind of put in a really awkward position to try and get something to me, I said to the person, what the fuck is this? This isn't needed. It was Clue, Cletus, and Truth that were doing a live stream where information about reality was being dangled. I don't know why people are lying about it now. They were running around with names that were incorrect. I pulled back my coverage of reality because it was never our intent to ever dox her. Audacity had helped gather all of that, and I put it on hold because I was not entertaining her being doxxed and us getting the blowback from her being doxxed and accused of shit that didn't make sense. So the arguments that are happening about who was doing that, where's the proof? Get fucked. Some of you were there during those live streams while this shit was happening, and now you act like you didn't know what was going on. Are we joking? And when their mods are sitting around, once again, allowing me to be lied on when I can prove, if need be, that I'm not fucking lying again, it's a fucking problem. This is a problem. The person that was reached out to, I expressed concern at the very time it happened. And I said, I don't trust what's going on here. Please be careful.
Me off the platform. Hi, Island. Hi. So, because otherwise the bullies win, right? And that's not right.
It wasn't for Autumn. It wasn't.
So I'm just going to play a little bit of the, I want to remind people the threats that were made, because if,
Yep. That's a true story.
action should be taken in the future. I don't want, I want to remind people what happened. So nobody says, I don't even remember Julie was threatened, you know?
Where's the proof of that? I've heard that same thing being said. Where's the proof of that? People just run with shit.
Because so many things happen every day on the internet. You know, we tend to forget things, but
Listen, I fall
because
into that
things,
too, Kathy.
you know, every day there's something else, right?
And I don't expect, I don't know if you watched my stream I don't even remember who was all here last night. I think you were here for a while, Kathy, for a lot of people don't know about certain moving pieces of this, but some of the people that are arguing were involved in those streams. That's the frustrating part. I don't expect everybody to know what's going on at all times on all these different, like, there's just no fucking way. I don't either. There's no fucking way to keep up on what's said by every single, it's just impossible. However, the people who are trying to argue were participating in those streams. That's the shit that I can't stand. I think it's simple. We call the one that claims truth alternative facts. It's a bit more accurate. Ha! MAGA minds give MAGA actions. Effing loser. Alternative facts. I like that. It seems it's getting twisted that I'm actually speaking of men's private parts when I call them erectile dysfunction. So it's probably better to call them alternative facts because nobody wants to even picture their private areas, let alone think any further or discuss it any further. Alternative facts is what we will go with because it's really offensive to call somebody erectile dysfunction. If going real life is bad unless UA does it, or if threats are bad unless it's Clue, then going real life and threats aren't really bad, are they? I mean, Kay, thank you so much for the support. I'm going back. Bree, why do you do this shit to me? Let me read that again. If going real life is bad unless UA does it, or if threats are bad unless it's Clue, then going real life and threats aren't really bad, are they? Oh, love you, Bree. I think some days, most days, some days. You're going back on ignore.
But to the wheels of justice often move slower than we'd like them to. So, you know, if something goes on,
She's funny.
just yesterday, by the way, Brittany.
Listen, this is what Bree texts me and shit, like stuff like this randomly. I love her dearly. I always fuck with her. You guys know that. But she sends me shit like this that makes me just go, oh. And then not in particular, like these statements are not things she texts me. She just texts me very profound, like, oh, that was said? By who? And then it's some like famous quote or something. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm a dumbass. I'm telling you, if you think you're the smartest person in the room, leave the same room. Leave the room and go join another room, because trust me, you'll meet people like a lot of the people I hang out with that just make you remember what a dumbass you are and remember your place all the time. It's quite often, but I love them for it.
In her chat were taunting me and alluding to me doing something terrible, doing something. But
listen, the best time I've ever had was when I got you up on panel, Bree, and I had you listen to Uni with me. That was probably the funnest shit that we've ever done.
That's not out of the ordinary. Okay. So we're going to keep going, and I'm going to show you what, you know, what I'm working with here.
Coco.
Okay.
That is such a, that right there, that you get what I'm saying. Every time she does that, I'm like, I know, Kay, it really is.
So,
and I love your alternative facts.
I'm going to show you, let me share my screen and I'll play a little bit, if I can, of my live stream that I did privately in December. Or no, it was in January. It's January 1st. I made that.
Listen, Chico, you don't even know what the fuck you told me. So about because you don't even know what the fuck's going on. So you and your I told you so shit. Sit down, in the words of Laura. You don't even know what the hell's going on yet, Chico, to fully understand what you told me so over. And you've already said it 15 times. And you turned around and gave everybody my email out. Okay, can we be done with our fight this week? Thanks. Before I block your ass? I'm just joking. She loves to rub it in my face, though.
That live stream, January 1st. So
You're not even
12 days ago,
dumbass. That's the problem.
I made this live stream. It seems like years ago, but it was 12 days ago.
Nah, Chico. I was clocking it months ago and told you some of my warnings. And you said, bitch, run. And I said, nope. I'm going through.
And so this is public so other people can see it.
Don't let her get it twisted. She wouldn't even pay attention to this shit if it wasn't for my ass.
Got 13. Okay. So.
Oh, hell no. Julie watching Julie is worse than nonsense watching nonsense. We're not suffering through that part again. Do you see this manipulation, though? Okay, I think I proved my point. You see how she turns those tears on? Okay, we're done. Holy Spirit, activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Oh, leave Chico alone. God, Chico is one I actually can fuck around with. I know. See, people always get, oh shit, are they actually? No. Same with Brie. I do the same thing every time I read her comment. Like, it just hits me differently, and I have to like sit there and ponder it for a minute. And I'm like, oh, that's way deeper. I have to come back to that later. And then Chico comes in and just shit. This is the people I surround myself with. Maybe I am the problem. Listen, these are the people I call my friends. All right. And I love them dearly most days. Okay, with that bullshit, I got to go, though. I got to go drop kids off. I'm playing taxi cab driver. Oh, and stop worrying about my schedule. God, my schedule is going to be all fucked up for the next, 4 months. So, mind your business. Oh, and to the nosy bitch asking about what I do for work in my comment section. Wouldn't it be weird if I, asked random strangers what they do for a job and how they can be online in chats all day? That's, mind your business. Know your place. If I don't ask you the weird things, don't think you can ask me the weird things. I share what I want to share. The rest of it, none of your fucking business. And I'll tell you that in the nicest way possible. It's none of your fucking business. Don't give a fuck what you say. Okay. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day. And I will see you tomorrow. We'll be back on our Betty bullshit. Tomorrow, we'll see another LawCow cash out. You're welcome, BJ. You couldn't appear for your court hearing, but me and another responsible adult did. We showed up. Thank God you had 30 minutes of drama to address that was so much more important than you and your other half's freedom, especially considering you're a mom of 6. Priorities are a thing you should probably figure out sooner or later in life. And stop expecting everybody else to do it for you. There will never be a day that I walk back. Oh, and to the person betting that I'm going to apologize to BJ. Apologize to BJ for what? For the fact that she implied that I'm a child predator and said I was doing things to her kids, to which was spun into I'm a child predator. Her and her other half talking about Kyle not coming home at night. I've been called a chomo. Lied on extensively. Before any of you started reviewing BJ, a couple of us had been putting up with her shit for quite a while while addressing it. Don't get it twisted in your own delusions. Sane. Because I hope you didn't put money on that bet, because it's a losing bet every time. Bye.